One of the great CFL cities we have, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and they love their Bombers right now, and there's a lot to love about this team. This should be a real good ball game tonight on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside the CFL studio. Dave Randorf, Jock Climbing, Matt Dunnigan, Chris Schultz. You know, it really is kind of one of the underrated rivalries in the Canadian Football League, the Bombers and the Ticats. While Winnipeg was in the East, these two developed a real nice hate-on for one another, and don't expect that to change just because the Bombers are now back in the West. Both teams come in at 1-0. The Ticats have a lot of new faces in their lineup this season. As for the Bombers, they look an awful lot like the team that went 14-4 a year ago and beat Hamilton in the Eastern Final, Matty. That was just one of several intense battles these two had last season.
Yeah, they were intense, and I think it'll behoove Hamilton to try to keep the ball away from Winnipeg. As the scores indicate from last year, you to go right down the list, and Hamilton has a better chance when it's a low-scoring game. And I think Danny McManus will see a lot of zone coverage from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, because Dave Ritchie, head coach, knows that he can't give Danny McManus the quick play over the top. He's going to make him be patient. So I expect this to be a very low-scoring football game if Hamilton's going to come out and win. But I know that Winnipeg, Jock, is going to try to get the ball away from Danny, make him be patient down the field, and then get up on him early. But that's not their way of doing things. They like to score in the fourth quarter, 175 points last year alone.
Well, they certainly got the work cut out for them. Now, of course, Hamilton, the big story coming into this season was a turnover, the transition. They've got 9 starters gone from last year's team. They have 11 rookies playing this year. That's a tall order for this team. Now, they went out last week and put a very solid performance together against BC. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see any problems with that football team. They just seemed to march down the field, very solid. Now, that was a tired, beat-up BC football team on 4 days rest. Tonight's a different story. This is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Chris.
Right. And they want to do the big play, but they got to be smart about it, because the defense they're playing tonight with the Hamilton Ticats is the exact opposite than the defense they played last week in Toronto. When they played the Toronto Argonauts, Kahari Jones comes to the line of scrimmage. He knows where his matchup possibility is. He knows that that's his opportunity. This time, he's got to be happy with some little plays. He has to get little play, little play, little play, first down. Little play, little play, little play, first down. And then when the moment is right, go for that big play. Yes, you have to attack on offense, attack all the time, but be smart. Kahari has to be smart in this game. Take those little plays, set up the big play.
Those little play, big play.
Go again?
Big.
Little play.
Okay, all right. Well, so it's the Bombers at home for the second straight week. They've yet to play a road game. We are flying into Winnipeg next. Enough talk. Let's play some football. You are watching Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN.
Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's Classic Double with Cheese is made fresh right when you order it. It's better here. By Molson Canadian. I am Canadian. And by Moore's Clothing for Men. Well made, well priced, well dressed.
It's a battle of the unbeaten here in Winnipeg tonight. The Bombers and the Ticats are both coming off impressive victories in Week 1. And it's a rematch of the Eastern Final, won by the Bombers 28-13 last November.
2 CFL heavyweights ready to go toe-to-toe tonight. 2 veteran squads that know how to win.
Weather has been a little unpredictable in the last 24 hours. Right now it's 29 degrees and sticky. The wind will be a factor at 30K, and there are thunder showers in the forecast over the next few hours.
Ron Lancaster arrived in Canada in 1960 and has spent 42 years involved in Canadian football. He started as a coach in Saskatchewan in '79, and he has 131 wins to his credit.
Dave Ritchie has done a marvelous job of rebuilding the Bombers in his first 3 seasons as head coach in Winnipeg. Last year's edition racked up 12 straight victories and came up 1 short on Grey Cup Sunday.
The Bombers' slogan this year in their marketing campaign was unfinished business.
And that's how they view this 2002 season in Winnipeg. Ready to get underway. Archie Amerson is deep. Westwood ready to kick it off. This coming down to Mace Freeman. Nice burst of speed for Freeman out across the 35 to the 39. And he's dropped there by Byron Capers. Danny McManus begins his 14th CFL season, ranked among the 10 best quarterbacks ever to play the game. He remains the master of the quick release and was only intercepted 9 times last season.
Football fans, if you like to see the football in the air, this is the game to watch. tonight. There's no question. Two quality quarterbacks that will be throwing the heck out of the ball.
Well, and consider the fact that the Bomber defense is really tough to run against. The Ticats really have no choice, do they? Here's McManus over the middle, and he's got the rookie Miles. Tony Miles made the catch there, and he has fine receivers in the rookie Miles and the veterans Andrew Gregg and Darren Flutie that are really the strength of this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. Troy Davis ran well in week number 1, so that will be part of the story. Paul Lambert will make his second starts at center for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Gain is 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Right into the hands of Davis. He couldn't hang on.
It is a Winnipeg defense that has made very few changes going into this year. One of them in the front 7 is the addition of David Benefield over from the BC Lions. They have a great linebacking core led by Lamar McGraves. In the secondary, they lost Jerron Bolden, but they replaced him with Mustafa Muhammad. You may remember him as Steve Muhammad back with the BC Lions when he was the Rookie of the Year.
Starting lineups brought to you by Midas. See Midas for all your car care needs. This guy is exciting to watch. Number 1, Charles Roberts.
Bombers want to get him the football any way they can on returns, punt returns, missed field goal returns, and he will be the starting tailback as well.
Paul Osbaldiston has the breeze behind him.
No, can't have that.
Ticats were a man short, so they took a time count violation penalty and moved back to the 40-yard line for Osbaldiston to get his first punt away.
Well, Mother Nature may be a factor in this game tonight because there's wind at this point and they're expecting rain like you mentioned. And get a big storm coming in. You want to score early before it gets here.
Osbaldiston keeps it a little low, and Roberts is forced back inside the 10-yard line to begin his return. Charles Roberts gets to the 14, and that's about it. Kahari Jones led all quarterbacks with 30 touchdown tosses last season, and last week he opened with 5 against the Toronto Argonauts in his first game of the season.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much picking up where you left off from a season that you were the most valuable player in the Canadian Football League. Kahari Jones really put together a nice year. Over 4,000, over 4,500 yards, as a matter of fact, and the 30 touchdown passes. Number 1 in the CFL.
Talked about the 12 wins in a row. You don't see that often in this league, do you? Bombers were able to do that last year. Beginning at the 15, Kahari Jones far side. Catch is made. Arlen Bruce the third. Jones has gifted receivers to throw to, led by Milt Stiegel, of course. Also, a newcomer, Antonio Brown. And the running back duties belong to Charles Roberts. He is someone special to watch. Up front, Mo Elawanibi and Dave Mudge anchor the veteran offensive line. Gain is 5, and there's Milt Stiegel with 14 touchdown receptions last season. Here's Charles Roberts. That's what we were talking about.
Well, they got a very nice balance now for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in that backfield because Mike Sellers is the newcomer to the lineup, number 33. He's going to be the big power back, and then they've got little Charles Roberts at just 171 pounds, and that might be a bit of a stretch. But he can get down the field in a hurry.
Nice 15-yard pickup, and the Bombers are quickly out at the 35 with a first down. 5 receivers set, and here's the big guy with nowhere to go. Mike Sellers, 6'3", 270 pounds.
Defensively for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, got a big game in his first game ever in the CFL from Tim Cheatwood at the defensive end position, newcomer into the lineup. The new linebacker will be Haven Fields. Rob Hitchcock is the safety, had an interception in week 1. Corner Brandon Hamilton is the veteran with 9 years of experience. But what a game that Tim Cheatwood had. 6 tackles and a sack in his first ever game.
They're very high on his abilities. There's speed and a wide range, meaning big arms, or at least long arms.
Well, they're big too.
They're big too. Kahari Jones over the middle. Oh, nicely done. Antonio Brown, only rookie starter for the Bombers, comes up with a catch. He had 3 receptions for 73 yards last week.
Well, he might be a rookie, but that was a wise move. He's going to come from this side of your screen on the crossing pattern. Kahari Jones leads him right into the middle, and this is the wise part of the move. Right here, get down. Because he dropped in a hurry before he got hit, and the protection up front from a very solid offensive line. Look at Dave Mudge working there on Lamont Bryant, giving Kahari Jones plenty of time to find Antonio Brown.
Nice beginning to his CFL career with 1 touchdown in his debut.
Well, either one of these teams would be a great team as a rookie receiver to join, because you've got Kahari Jones, who loves to throw the ball, and especially loves to throw the ball deep, and then Danny McManus on the other side, you know, just one of the greatest all time. So if you're a rookie receiver, these are one of the 2 teams you'd like to show up on.
First down for the Blue Bombers when we return. Antonio Brown picking up 16 yards on his first reception tonight. Hamilton linebacker Chris Schelling was shaken up on that previous play. He's being looked at the bench.
Yeah, he was the guy who took a shot at Antonio Brown and dove right over top. He's coming from the right of your screen, and Chris Schelling goes right over the top, kind of jams down into his right shoulder. He got up initially and then went down on 1 knee, and they're going to look at him on the bench for at least 3 more plays.
Meanwhile, this Bomber drive began back at the 15. The Bombers have advanced with first downs now 33 yards and have another one here. Charles Roberts spins away from 1 tackle, and he'll come very close to another first down.
Over 124 yards rushing in week 1, a 6.5-yard average for Charles Roberts, and he's going to have a big average because at least once or twice in a game he's going to rip off a huge run, and that's his potential. There's his last week numbers: 124 yards, never found the end zone, but that's a nice average at 6.5 for a running back.
Very nice average when you look at a running back who's 5.6. 5 feet 6 inches.
Yeah, no question.
Here he is again on second down, about a yard to go.
And what they're going to try to do tonight, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, is going to try to get the ball to Charles Roberts as much as they can, no question. But Mike Sellers is going to be a guy that will begin to be featured more and more in this offense. Mike Sellers, 6'3", 260 pounds, and the coaching staff just can't get over how good of an athlete Mike Sellers really is. Very good hands out of the backfield. They'll use him in the passing game and as the single back, and move Charles Roberts out as a receiver.
Any portion of the ball is good for the first down.
So it gives the offensive coaching staff here in Winnipeg a whole bunch of options in that offense. Single back with a big Mike Sellers, or they can go Paul LaPolice, the offensive coordinator to the right of your screen, can go with Charles Roberts as the single back in the backfield.
That's Gene Gaines handling the defense on the other side.
That's right. Plenty of options for Paul LaPolice.
Impressive drive for the Bombers against the wind. Nice play action fake. And this is Sellers sliding out of the backfield. Marcus Spencer, 41, got over to make the tackle. He's in for Chris Schelling.
In conversation with Paul LaPolice before the game, he said in training camp they watched Mike Sellers, who played in Edmonton years ago before putting together a pretty nice NFL career, but they watched him in game film after a semi-scrimmage in training camp, and he ran away from all the defensive backs, and they looked at each other in the room and said, he's 260 pounds, isn't he? He can run like Charles Roberts.
He's got good jets. Gain of 6. This is 2nd and 4, Blue Bombers. Kahari got it away in a hurry, and it's batted down by Spencer. Flag on the far side of the field. So we'll check out the infraction there.
Pretty good disguise there from Marcus Spencer. Playing now because of the injury to Chris Schelling.
Looks like it's going against Winnipeg, Glenn.
Offside, Winnipeg #1. The penalties declined. 3rd down.
Well, that's how fast he is.
Well, this is a pretty nice drop and good disguise. Look at Marcus Spencer right up here in the line of scrimmage. Then he drops out of there and will get right in the passing lane for Kahari Jones. So Kahari Jones took him out of his thinking when he was up in the line of scrimmage, thinking he might be blitzing, so I want to throw it over the middle. And then he just dropped into that middle.
So Cameron is in for his first kick. Mace Freeman awaits. Along with Tony Miles. This is pretty good into the breeze. Tony Miles Away from one, but he's tripped up by Brad Yamoka. 6 on the return, 41 onto the punt. Ticats are 1st and 10 when we return. Wendy's Friday Night Football live from Winnipeg. Ron Lancaster looks at a new season with a lot of new faces, and that seems to happen to the Tiger Cats just about every year.
Well, that offensive line played well in week 1 versus the BC Lions, but they've already had to make some adjustments from week 1. Mike Mihalik was injured, so he's out. Shamir Shaheen moves in there in that guard position. So 1 change already in 1 week.
And the massive changes are on the defensive side of the ball as far as Lancaster is concerned, although he does have a rookie wide receiver in Tony Miles. Troy Davis had a great week against the BC Lions. 22 carries, 105 yards. We talked about this Bomber defense and how difficult it is to run against.
Well, it really is. Last year, they only gave up 78 yards rushing per game. So Troy Davis, who had a good start in week 1, not only we probably won't see the ball quite as much, but it's going to be awful tough running on guys like Doug Brown and that linebacking core up front in the front 7 for the Bomber.
Davis lost a yard, so McManus will put this one up. Swing pass far side. He made the catch. And there's a penalty marker down as well. Nash was covering on Troy Davis.
There's been some big hits this week in the Canadian Football League, and they're starting to hit early here.
Holding Hamilton, number 68. That penalties decline.
So they got Dave Hack there.
Some big hits last night in Edmonton between the Renegades and the Eskimos, and tonight they're starting early here in Winnipeg, and it's Harold Nash that's going to get things going with a big hit on Troy Davis. Start this game going early.
Osbaldiston with the wind at his back stands on the Ticat goal line. Charles Roberts is chased all the way back to the 25. This is rolling right into the end zone. So Ozzie nailed that one from one goal line to the other.
It's a 110-yard punt.
It's 110 yards.
Officially 96.
96 is what they call as the official.
That one just caught the wind and away it went.
It sailed. Longest of Paul Osbaldiston's career, and that spans a lot of years. 17 years.
Yeah.
No yards. Hamilton, number 29. That penalties decline. Single point.
So it goes as a 96-yard single.
And that, as a punter, is pretty good for the average. Now, Ozzie's got the wind right now, so he wants to pump up that average while he has it, because he knows he's going to have to turn around in a quarter. His career average is about 43. That's a little bit over that. Thanks to Mother Nature.
A 49-yard average, 49.2 last week. So he is kicking the stuffing out of the ball. Harry Jones barely got it away, but he finds the receiver. Arlan Bruce, the third, made the catch.
Well, Chris Schelling is back in this game, and it's a good thing for Hamilton because he's going to help out with containment to the outside. If Schilling's not there, Kahari Jones has lots of room to run. See the quickness of Chris Schelling to get out there, and that forces the bad throw. Just lucky for Winnipeg that Arlan Bruce was in the right spot. Chris Schelling, one series out after the injury, and he's back in there.
And Bruce got the ball back, so it'll be a Blue Bomber first down at the 47. Jones with time and a target. This time it's picked out. Hitchcock has it. Second interception in 2 games for Hitchcock. Still going. And finally, I think he might have run out of steam. Rob Hitchcock.
Rob Hitchcock played this one perfectly by his shoulders. He's trying to tell Kahari Jones before the snap of the ball that he's not going in the direction Kahari Jones wants to go. Look at his shoulders. That's body language. That's saying to Kahari Jones, I'm going over here to my left. Kahari Jones takes him out of his thought process, and then there he is right in the throwing lane. A nice interception from Rob Hitchcock, who now has 2 on the season, because last week versus the BC Lions, Rob Hitchcock got his season off on the right foot by running underneath this Damon Allen throw to the corner of the end zone and snuffing out a drive.
So 2 in 2 games for Rob Hitchcock. He's out of steam at the Ticat bench. Here's McManus on first down, Hamilton. There's Flutie, and he was about 3 yards behind the ball.
Rob Hitchcock is a leader in that secondary. Just got tripped out on the sideline. Now he's trying to catch his breath before he has to go back on the field. Plays on special teams as well. But last year was his best season as a pro for Rob Hitchcock. 6 interceptions. He's an all-Canadian. 2001 added 52 tackles. Looks like they're going to take a look at his left ankle.
Well, he went down hard when he finally rolled out of bounds. 2nd and 10 Ticats. 3 receivers to the near side. McManus looks to the far side of the field and has Mace Freeman.
Andrew Gregg to the play side wanted to get a penalty called, and he wanted it to be called on Harold Nash. Andrew Gregg is trying to work on Harold Nash and get down the field and then to the outside, and you see how Harold Nash got the right hand up on that shoulder pad, and Gregg's saying, well, wait a minute, pretty sure that's not in the rule book.
So Nash gets away with one there. Ticats get a first down regardless. Over the middle, Flutie couldn't bring that one down.
They're going after Harold Nash, and in this case, it's one of the few times that Danny McManus in 2 weeks has seen any pass rush, because there wasn't a whole lot last week versus the BC Lions. But David Benefield, who his career is rejuvenated back with his old dad, Dave Ritchie.
Well, they got together for the very first time in Benefield's rookie season as an Ottawa Rough Rider. Renewed acquaintances in BC a few years later, and they are together again here. Talked to David yesterday, and he's really excited to be playing in this defensive scheme of the Blue Bombers. He's free to roam out there, and he's had a couple of pretty good games and a good start tonight. Ticats have a 1-0 lead on a 96-yard single. Darren Flutie is on his farewell tour of CFL stadiums. So he says he's going to pack it in after this year. There's a few records that he might have an opportunity to catch up on.
Well, we'll keep close track to this. 82.9 yards per game to catch Alan Pitts, become the all-time lead receiver.
Likely target here is Flutie. McManus goes down. The pressure got to McManus, and the Ticats don't get to him very often.
That doesn't happen very often. You're absolutely right, where Danny McManus has to hold on to the football. Now to the play side, I don't think McManus had anybody open, and he's going to get pressure off the edge from Lamar McGriggs. Troy Davis steps away. Lamar McGriggs gets home. Gary Brown just can't get his big arms up there on him.
And Benefield was there to slow down McManus before that, so it will not be a shared sack, but Benefield had his mitts on him as well. Here's Osbaldiston for the field goal drive. And off the post and in.
That's one of those.
That one counts.
It's one of those Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan. Okay, off the post, off the other post, off the mini truck, off the big balloon in the end zone, through the uprights.
And Osbaldiston has had a great start to this season. 4 of 5 last week, hitting on 80%. He has the 96-yard single and the field goal there from 36.
He's a pool shark. He played the bank shot perfectly.
Playing in his 253rd consecutive game tonight. He was the All-Canadian place kicker last year. Second in all-time points.
Trying to catch Louis Pasaglia, but still a ways away. from the great Louis Pasaglia in that category. However,
Ozzie in his 17th year, he needs about, what do you figure, 5 more?
5 more years, and he's 12 points ahead of Mark McLaughlin, of course, still playing in Calgary. Ozzie's best year was probably 1990, and that year he was over 80% in the field goal department, close to a 46-yard average punting, and you mentioned in game 1 he was 49-yard average. That's still got it. He's still got the snap in that leg.
Charles Roberts awaits. Osbaldiston keeps it low. This is returning for Winnipeg. Roberts to the 25-yard line. Chris Schelling back in the game. An update from Greg Musselman.
Well, Chris Schelling is obviously in some pain. He took an injury to the upper part of his right leg. They taped it up. He was grimacing as he was running up and down the sidelines, but he's determined to get out there. Just notice him getting back on the field. So he's a tough guy, but he's definitely injured. It'll be interesting to see how long he can continue. Back up to you guys.
Well, what Chris Schelling did when he was taping up his leg is he just got a little aspirin, he put it on the leg, and then he just taped it right over. That's what you do. You tape the aspirin
when you're a
on
linebacker,
and you go back in. Yeah.
Chris Schelling is one of the tough ones out there. Roberts wrapped up in the backfield.
Well, he really is when you consider that Chris Schelling started his career as a defensive back, and look at him just laughing out there. He's having a lot of fun. That's a running play. He's having a lot of fun even though he's in pain. And watch how he moves, try and slides over. You can tell that he is limping on that right leg.
Ticat defense holding Charles Roberts to a loss of 2 in the previous play. 2nd and 12. Bombers back near the 21 now. Shotgun for Kahari Jones over the middle for Stigo. Makes the catch, makes the first down. Milt Stiegel, All-Canadian again last year.
Well, Milt Stiegel realized that Chris Schelling was going to come on a blitz from the linebacking spot, so he wants to find the hole into the middle, and that's where he goes, right over the middle. Kahari Jones is helped out a little bit there by offensive lineman Mo Eluanibi, who just before the snap had told Charles Roberts to go over there and block Chris Schelling. He picked up that blitz, helped out his quarterback, and got his running back lined up right.
1st and 10, Winnipeg. Roberts again. Better than halfway to a first down. Haven Fields is a new middle linebacker in the Hamilton scheme, and he was over for the tackle.
Mike Sellers going out to find Chris Schelling. That's pretty good movement for Chris Schelling, we showed you him limping 2 plays ago. He slides over and gets involved in the tackle right there. You sort of limp around in between plays, and then when the play happens, the adrenaline kicks in.
Gain is 8 yards. This is 2nd and 2. Roberts again, and he'll have the first down by about a half a yard.
Mike Sellers wanted Charles Roberts to come to the outside. He's the lead blocker on the play, and Roberts decided early not to follow his big fullback around the corner, and I think if he does, he might have a whole bunch more yards, and Mike Sellers will kind of mention it to Roberts as they go back to the huddle.
Bombers didn't get the spot they were hoping for, so they'll see how close Roberts actually got to this first down. I was pretty sure he'd had it. Sufficient yardage.
Yeah, you're right. Sufficient by 3/4 of a football.
And that's all you need. Dave Ritchie in his 4th season as the head coach of the Blue Bombers. He's been patrolling the sidelines of football stadiums for the last 43 years.
A couple of veteran coaches out there right now. Ron Lancaster and Dave Ritchie.
Another Bomber first down. Ticats have the lead by 4. Stiegel is the target. No call, and that's what Bomber fans were looking for on the coverage by Troy Saunders.
Well, you know, both players are entitled to the position they have on the field, and they're entitled to equal access to the football. Now, watch this. There's Troy Saunders. He's going to turn around. Now he's in the hip pocket. Now he's running their hand fighting. Both players fighting for position. Troy Saunders turned around and looked back at the football. I think it's a no call. That's a good no call. That's an interesting matchup, though. Troy Saunders in his second year against Milt Stegall, who as soon as the Hamilton Tiger Cats blitz, he'll be going deep.
Unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 49, first down.
So that was back at the line of scrimmage after the play. Tim Cheatwood.
Well, Tim Cheatwood moved in to help out a teammate, Chris Schelling. And when he did, Schelling fighting with Mike Sellers. When he did, he got the penalty. It's always that second one, the retaliation.
88, Jamie Stoddard flanks to the far side along with Antonio Brown. Marcus Howell, one of 2 receivers to the near side. No one home as Roberts fell.
Yeah, that was that. Charles Roberts fell down, but you know, the newcomer, Haven Fields, the new linebacker, in for Ron Merkerson, who broke his wrist in week 1. He was flying over there anyway. He would have been in pretty good position to make that tackle on Charles Roberts. It's his responsibility on the screen, but you're going to see Roberts. He gets caught up there in the legs of Darren McField. Haven Fields was in pretty good position. They like him. He was one of the late cuts in training camp.
And he was waiting by the phone in Atlanta, said he hadn't even unpacked. He was ready to go, so he flew in. Here we go. Kahari Jones meets Haven Fields.
Well, Kahari Jones wanted to pump fake a couple of times and go deep. You see Haven Fields up the middle, and off the edge is Tim Cheatwood, and Larry Fitzpatrick is pushing in, but it's Fields that gets the sack. Look at Haven McFields timing that blitz, working on Brett McNeil, the center. He gets outside, a little stutter step, and he is in the backfield for his first ever CFL sack.
Bob Cameron into the breeze. Into the final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. This is Miles to the outside for the Ticats. This guy has speed to burn. Cameron goes over to try and slow him down, and he does enough for him to be caught from behind. Andre Arlane made the tackle. Tony Miles with a 55-yard return, setting the Ticats up for final play of the quarter to Troy Davis. Zeros are on the clock, and that is the end of quarter number 1. They're really excited about Tony Miles, number 13. Word on him is he can make you miss.
Can make you miss, and he can flat out fly.
Tony Miles gets the Ticats in scoring range.
You know, a kicker's got to do something really big to get the panel all fired up, and a 96-yard single will pretty well do that. Paul is Balderson. And if you're thinking that has to be a CFL record, it's not. The record is held by one of the great names in CFL history, Matty.
Yeah, and I was frantically looking that up because I knew that Ozzie had a record there. I was in the cafeteria talking to David Amber, and we were watching the game, and I said, David, did you see that? And I said, it's got to be a record. Well, it's not. It's Zenon Andrusician. In 1977, for the Toronto Argonauts, he hit a punt 108 yards. But you know what? Ozzie, he got a hold of this one. He used all the wind behind his back, hit this ball 76 yards in the air, used another 30 yards on a favorable roll. Huge single point from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Instant field position and help from Paul Balderson. And then he uses the wind again. Barely enough. Off the crossbar. Ozzie definitely living right, Chris. I'm telling you, Ozzie had me up on my seat in the cafeteria. I was like, whoa, look at that guy go. And kickers don't do that too often.
I know. But you know why that was so important? Because all you have to do is go back to the previous plays that Winnipeg was running. They had 2 plays first down, 2 plays first down, another 2 plays first down. The whole goal of the first quarter for an offense is to gain field position advantage. Winnipeg had that. So they had them pinned. They had Hamilton pinned in their own end. And then Ozzie comes through, changes the whole momentum of the game. Another issue, watch Chris Schelling. If he keeps limping, someone has to realize that matchup possibility there, Jock.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about Chris Schelling and some Defense 101. Just going to talk a little bit about contained responsibility and how that messes up the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a little bit. Here we go. Normally a defensive end has responsibility for the quarterback on a naked bootleg. Hamilton gets sneaky here and uses our linebacker Schelling right here. Now watch as Kahari Jones fakes the handoff and bootlegs out here. They're shelling right in his face, surprises Carvey Jones. He pops it up. They're very fortunate not to have an interception and a fumble on that play.
4-0 Hamilton, and they're on the move again, John.
Interesting first half, or at least first half so far. The first quarter is over. Time of possession, Glenn.
Yeah, when you look at that, you see that the stats often don't represent what the game is doing because it's a 4-0 Hamilton lead in all Winnipeg in the stats department.
Archie Amerson makes the catch. 5 receptions for 85 yards for Amerson last week against BC.
Yeah, Archie Amerson got off to a good start. 85 yards, just short of his 100-yard gain. He didn't get in the end zone, but was a good target for Danny McManus. And, you know, Archie Amerson is sort of a slash running back receiver guy and gets that ball even on a short pattern. He can make things happen with it.
He picked up 9 yards there, enough for a Ticat first down. At the Blue Bomber 30, McManus throwing into the wind and too high for Darren Flutie.
Well, Darren Flutie had good position. He was inside. And that's why Danny McManus, you see him a little disappointed with the throw. And you really have to play the wind. It's almost like a golfer with the wind blowing. You have to adjust your swing. Well, in this case, your throw for a quarterback. Darren Flutie did his job. He was open, and he's very close to becoming the all-time.
Number 2 all-time behind Alan Pitts. Number 3 in number of receptions. And that one he will break this year for sure. Whether he can catch Alan Pitts is another story, but you talked about it. Has to average about 82 yards a game. McManus on 2nd and 10 behind the receiver, but Mace Freeman couldn't get back to it.
See, and again, the wind, I think, affected the throw to Mace Freeman. He was working one-on-one on Raphael Ball. He's up in that bump and run. He doesn't get the bump. He just gets the run. But that's the position for the bump and run. You get up there close, about a yard and a half off the ball, get your hands on the receiver. He got no bump and all run.
1 for 1 is Paul Osbaldiston tonight. Off the post at the other end, this time into a stiff breeze, and he's wide. But Roberts will give up another point, adding to the Ticat total. So Ozzie is 1 for 2 so far on Wendy's Friday Night Football in Winnipeg. Back live in Winnipeg. And next Tuesday, we'll be live from the stadium at BC Place. The Argonauts and the Lions join us for Wendy's CFL Live. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time.
Both teams desperate for their first win in the regular season.
After the single, Blue Bombers begin at the 35. Charles Roberts. And not much running room to the outside for Charles Roberts that time, as he was wrapped up by Lamont Bryant.
You know, the new offensive coordinator here, Paul LaPolice, over from Toronto on the right of your screen. He's got an interesting system. He plugs in to the computer a bunch of different stats, and it's sort of to judge the amount of errors his offense makes in comparison with the number of plays they make. Like, for instance, last week they had 67 plays and made 12 errors including fumbles, drop balls, interceptions, penalties, things like that. And then when he comes out, he gets a percentage. Says if it's below 10%, you're guaranteed to win.
Harry Jones on 2nd and 7 has Roberts, who hit the turf, and a penalty going down against the Tiger Cats. Face mask will be the call.
Yeah, this drive will stay alive. So this is how he judges, and he wants to make sure that his offense will become mistake-free. Because last week they were up around 15%. And that's too high. He says we get to 15%. Now they won, so it was okay. But he says more times than not, as it gets over 12%, you're going to lose.
Face mask, Hamilton, number 49, first down.
Couple for Tim Cheatwood tonight. And it was unnecessary there because they had Roberts all wrapped up short of a first down.
Couple of rookie mistakes.
That's not a happy face we're looking at there.
Well, they keep the drive alive, and that's why Ron Lancaster is not happy with it.
Bombers out across the 50. Charles Roberts again. And better than half halfway to a first down again. He's a tough guy to tackle. He just seems to slide his way through.
14-4, Dave Ritchie last year, his best record in the Canadian Football League, and it's pretty nice as a head coach when you clinch a playoff spot in September.
Yes, and that's what the Bombers had done last year. And that streak that Kahari Jones took them on, with 12 straight victories, was something to watch. Second down and 6. Blue Bombers are at midfield. Jones comes close to a first down with Antonio Brown making that reception. See where they spot the ball. From our vantage point, looks like it's slightly short.
And Chris Schelling showed pretty good discipline there, because Antonio Brown tried to influence him with motion before the snap of the ball. Antonio Brown went in motion all the way across the formation, tried to influence the linebacker, and really didn't get it done. And then he comes across his face. Schelling was sitting there, and then they'll have to come out and measure this one because of this. It's pretty good discipline from Chris Schelling, who is right here. There's the receiver. He's going to go cross in motion. That's Antonio Brown. Now watch, he's trying to influence Chris Schelling. Now come over here, because this is where I'm going to go. And then when he gets to that side of the field, now he comes all the way back across, and see, Schelling stayed home. Because if Schelling is influenced and goes closer to the middle of the field, now Brown's got lots of room to run on the outside.
About a foot short on this. The length of the football is what the Bombers need for a first down. We'll call it 3rd and inches. Right on the ball. That's Mike Sellers.
260 pounds, airborne.
He can fly, that guy.
Well, that got the crowd all excited here. That was the most exciting 1-yard jump you've ever seen.
It's lucky he didn't land on anybody at 260 pounds coming down from that height.
Well, look at the strength in his legs.
Well, he did. He landed on Dave Mudge there.
Well, Dave Mudge can take it. He's about the only guy that can take it. He lands on Charles Roberts, and we're still looking for him.
I think you're right about that. He'd be under the carpet. First down, Blue Bombers. Jones with watch out now. Roberts is open, and look at this guy fly. Charles Roberts.
Yeah. This is a nightmare for a defense right here. You get number 1 out in open space. It's enough to try and contain him in the box or right around the line of scrimmage, but you get him out in the open space. He's coming out of the backfield right there. See number 1 just slip out. Look at the open area, 10 yards from side to side, and that's trouble for any defense.
Looking across the field, there is a flag down back near the line of scrimmage.
And I think the Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to dodge one here.
It would have been a 33-yard gain.
See, now here's what Hamilton defensively is going to have to do, though.
Procedure, Winnipeg, number 58. Repeat first down.
See, they don't want to see Charles Roberts out in space like that, so the way defensively you're going to try and stop that is to play more man-to-man defense. Trying to take a look. It looked like that right side. Dave Mudge got his hand up off the turf too early. Once the hand's down, he's got to stay down until the snap of the ball. But defensively right now for Hamilton, they're going to have to play some more man-to-man defense, and that means Milt Stegall becomes more involved.
Tech on the penalty, and it's a net loss of 38 yards. First and 15, Blue Bombers. Jones near side. Too far for Arlen Bruce this time.
Dwayne Butler put a little hit on Arlen Bruce just to let him know he was there, even though he really didn't have to because the ball was thrown up over top. But look at Arlen Bruce. He's going to break out here, go to the sideline, and I like the hit. This is a message from Dwayne Butler. Just bam, with that right arm come across, even though it's not caught. He knew it wasn't caught, but you know, I just want to let you know as a defensive back, I was right beside you the entire play.
And just remember that for the next time.
Absolutely.
Second and 15. Bombers at the 52. Harry Jones buys some time. There's no one open down there. No one in behind the Ticats secondary.
This offense is struggling a little bit right now. Last week, Kahari Jones did a nice job of finding all his receivers. Slotbacks caught 9, the running backs 7 out of the backfield. Charles Roberts involved in that area, and then 5 for the wideouts.
And last week, Kahari Jones had a slow start to the football game. His second half was much better than the first half.
Well, no question. And when I mentioned the errors that LaPolice is looking at, most of those errors occurred last week in that first half.
There is no first team storming back and scored a lot of points in the final 2 quarters, and the victory over the Argonauts. Mace Freeman comes up. Misjudged it a bit and never really got an opportunity to take off. He was tackled by Harold Nash. Ticats 1st and 10 when we return to Wendy's Friday Night Football from Winnipeg. Blue Bomber receiving corps has one huge star right there, number 85, Milt Stiegel, and a supporting cast that is among the best group in the league.
It's Arland Bruce. Of course, Arland Bruce moved from wide receiver to the inside slotback position this year, and he loves it in there because he thinks he'll get more footballs. But right now, that offense is struggling. You got to credit the Hamilton defense so far.
1st and 10, Hamilton, beginning inside the 15. Davis. Troy Davis, over 100 yards rushing last week.
Of course, Darren Davis is Troy Davis' brother, playing for Ottawa right now. And I asked him before the game if he watches his brother's stats and tries to keep ahead. He says, we've been competitive since we were 2 years old. So, yeah.
Procedure, Hamilton, no end. Repeat first down.
Lancaster walked into the dressing room last week just before the game against BC and said, hey, your brother played pretty well last night.
Yeah.
I watched him. He played pretty well for Ottawa.
Well, that'll get Troy Davis fired up, because that's what he said today. He said, we've been competing all our lives. I mean, we always had a bedroom together, and we wrestled, we fought over everything. And I watch his numbers.
Ticats looking at 1st and 15. McManus goes deep. Grigg had his hands on it, couldn't bring it down. Good coverage by Raphael Ball.
Textbook coverage from Raphael Ball. Both defenses sort of making a statement early in this game, because Raphael Ball could not be in better position. You see how he's turned back. Now he'll fade back towards the receiver. Whoa. Time his jump perfectly and go up and knock that one away.
That looks even better in slow motion when you look at just getting the hand in there.
Well, it's all timing at that point. When the ball is about to arrive, you have to read the receiver's eyes, turn around and get your shoulders up, and then time your jump. Raphael Ball did it perfectly. No backs in the backfield.
Andrew Grigg to the near side, 4 receivers far side of the field, and that one might have been tipped. Davis was the target at one hop to him.
Well, that's very close to being a throw behind the line of scrimmage and back behind Danny McManus, which of course would make it a fumble. That's why David Benefield went after it. The ball is right up there on the 10-yard line, and that ball bounced behind. Now Danny McManus dropped back a step and a half.
Hard to tell from that replay angle whether or not it was behind.
Benefield, the veteran, played that football into the end zone until he heard the whistle blow.
Ticats have the lead at 5-0 now.
Probably
Osbaldiston give up 2, yes. A thought here.
No question. He's into a stiff wind right now.
So the Bombers get on the board thanks to the win. Paul Osbaldiston gives 2 back, and it's 5-2. Ticats lead the Bombers. Welcome back to Winnipeg. Wendy's Friday Night Football is on the air, and Greg Musselman is down there on the sidelines.
Okay, thanks, John. No rain yet, and we're praying and hoping that doesn't take place. Lyle Bauer, the president and CEO of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Another good tussle between these teams, kind of picking up from the Eastern Final.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime the Ticats and the Bombers get together, Danny Mack and Kahari Jones and the boys, it's quite a tussle, and it's just great all-around Canadian Football League action.
You know what difference a year makes? I mean, the Bombers weren't even expected to make the playoffs last year, the so-called experts said. Now you're the favorites to go all the way, and I know the disappointment still stings, I'm sure, for Montreal, and you've kind of tagged this as unfinished business.
Well, it's an unfinished business on a lot of fronts, and certainly everybody wants to get to the Grey Cup, but the resurrection of the club in the in the game and the league, and also on the financial ledgers. But yeah, our guys do have a chance, I think, to get back to Edmonton.
Well, Al, you said in order to do this interview, I had to do you a favor, so go for it.
That's right. I just want to say hello to my daughter who moved back to Calgary. We miss you. Come home anytime.
I'm sure she's not a Stampeder fan. Let's go upstairs with John and Glenn.
Ah, Dad's missing his daughter, and it happens, doesn't it? Obviously.
Yeah, well, no question. Now, what a job he has done of building this football team and giving the crowd a team they can be proud of. And I think that's what he's done first and foremost. I mean, the winning is great, but this is a team that he can be proud of. And he did it by hiring the right people to get it done.
Here's Charles Roberts on first down, and Ticats snuffed that out in a hurry.
Well, the guy that he hired first and foremost that has really been the architect of this whole thing is the young football mind, Brendan Taman, who, you know, started in Saskatchewan. In fact, I worked with Brendan Taman when he was in Saskatchewan. He's been with Dave Ritchie for years, and, you know, he has done some deals that'll make your head shake. I mean, he's made trades in this organization to get Kahari Jones. Dave Mudge might have been his best trade ever because he got Dave Mudge for Brad Elbert. And that was a great trade for him. Mo Elwanivi, Doug Brown, all through trades.
No question, he is one of the bright young minds in Canadian football. He found this guy somewhere, too. Antonio Brown makes the catch from Kahari Jones. This guy is going to be terrific. He's a speedster who can fly, and the only rookie starter on that Blue Bomber offense.
He's the inside guy, going to just run an in route right there on Troy Saunders. Troy Saunders trying to play outside position, and the reason he's playing out there is he thinks he has safety help, but it's safety help deep, not across the middle, and that's where Antonio Brown wins.
3 catches, 73 yards, 1 touchdown for Brown last week in his debut. Another first down for Jones. Oh, outstanding defensive play going the other way. Diedrich Mathis.
Well, talk about timing your jump. Diedrich Mathis does it perfectly again. I mean, he goes up and he almost catches this on the way down. Kahari Jones rolled to the opposite side of the field to hope to influence Diedrich Mathis.
Oh, he almost
caught this on the way down, and that would have been quite an athletic move to do that.
Ireland Bruce, number 4, was the target. Perfect timing.
DBs are playing well tonight.
Blue Bombers looking at 2nd and 10 at the Winnipeg 50. Roberts has it, and he's gone. At least for about 4 yards. It looked like he might be able to slip away from one more. But this guy is worth the price of admission.
Well, but you have to swarm tackle him, and that's what the Hamilton Tiger Cats did to force 3rd down. They swarm tackled him, and he's still down. One guy will not bring Charles Roberts down. He's too elusive. It's going to be a little screen pass. Number 1 is right up in here in your screen. He's going to slip through the line, go to the left. Now here's the first guy. That's the first miss there, and it cuts back. Now there's a miss there. But if you get 3 or 4 on him, you got a chance. And they had to get 3 or 4. Haven Fields, the last one to bring him down, and it looks like Charles Roberts will be fine.
He will be back. He's 5'6", 171 pounds, is listed on the Bomber depth chart.
There's no way he's 171 pounds. 151 pounds, maybe.
Well, I was just reading it. Doing my best. Here's Cameron with a breeze at his back. Mace Freeman inside the 15. Superb tackle upfield by Dave Donaldson, former star at the University of Manitoba. Love these special teams guys sometimes, Glenn. This guy's a terrific athlete, Dave Donaldson.
Yeah, it's all heart. That special teams is all heart. Double D, as they call him here in Winnipeg, played with a lot of heart on that last play. And that inspires your defense. So your defense is now fired up. Dave Donaldson makes a real nice open field tackle. It's all desire on the teams, and Dave Donaldson, he out-hustles Diedrich Mathis and then watch the hustle to get to the tackle. One arm, pull him down at the 10-yard line. That's got his defense fired up, and now I believe it was Benefield got involved on that first play defensively.
Ticats picked up 2 on the short run by Troy Davis. So Hamilton faces 2nd and 8. McManus has Flutie, and that'll be good for a first down as Flutie puts his head down and tries to run through Harold Nash.
Darren Flutie is so good at avoiding contact. Lamar McGriggs tried to go out and take Flutie's head off. And if he does it, Danny McManus doesn't have a target. See right there, going out of your screen right there. Lamar McGriggs tried to get that hit on Flutie. You can see how far Flutie is away from him.
Flutie picks up 20, and that's a huge gain for the Tiger Cats, who are now out across the 30 and closer to the 35. McManus looking deep. Oh, Andrew Grigg did.
Andrew Grigg got away with one there, because Andrew Grigg put the clamps on Harold Nash, I believe it was. It might have been Raphael Ball, one of those defensive backs. As he turned around, Andrew Grigg realized he wasn't going to catch the ball. So he became the DB. He grabbed the jersey, got away with it.
He didn't react to the ball. He reacted to the jersey that time, Harold Nash.
Remember, it was Andrew Grigg about 3 series ago that was looking at the ref like, come on, give me a call. And he got away with one there. It balanced out.
He got the call. Like, for the fact that there was no call there. Intercepted. They say that Tom Europe didn't get that before it bounced off the ground. Put on a good show.
Archie Amerson, the intended receiver to the left of your screen. Archie Amerson juggled it. Don't catch it cleanly the first time up high, and it's sitting on the back there. And there's the one hop.
It was a hopper. No
fairly
question
good
about
sales
it.
job by Tom Europe, but didn't fool the officials.
One deep for the Bombers, standing at the 40. Osbaldiston has it blocked. There's a chance. Yamoka heading to the end zone.
Benefield. David Benefield. He is playing like a new man. David Benefield.
Defensive style.
And he gets in on the special teams as well.
Benefield got the block. Yamoka ended up with the football. And Smith cut him down before he got to the end zone. CFL veteran David Benefield back with Dave Ritchie and happy to be here.
Mustafa Mohammed right here, number 3, is going to influence the blocking assignments, and the blocking assignment set up there. You see how he influences that front line, and that allows David Benefield to go free.
And that sets the Bombers up inside the Ticat 10-yard line at the 9. Harry Jones, first and goal to go from there. Flags are down. Jones fires, and one hops it to Stiegel.
It's going to be holding.
There's a marker down, and it's going against Winnipeg.
Yeah, it is. It's going to go against Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Mo Elowanibi.
That was nice, baby. That was nice. Hey, that was out the lane. Oh, boy, Fred.
Holding Winnipeg, number 64, penalties declined, 2nd down.
Take one more look at that block punt. Mustafa Mohammed, number 3, lined up in there, and he influences the blocking scheme. Because of that, it freezes that front line, and now Benefield, no one blocks him. Benefield goes straight through, and he's right there. And Paul Osbaldiston, who's down looking at the ball with his head down, he has to do that. Can't see big David Benefield coming in there.
Brad Yamoka recovered the blocked kick. And now the Bombers look at 2nd and goal to go from the 9. Jones has Roberts. There we go. 6 for the Bombers. Charles Roberts, untouched, into the end zone.
Well, you know you can't stop Kahari Jones for long. It seems that as the game goes on, he gets stronger and stronger. Takes advantage of the block punt by David Benefield.
Bombers have the lead for the first time.
And he gets some help from his friends. 2 receivers right here for the Bombers are going to come down this way. Charles Roberts goes out the opposite way. That takes the defense with him. Charles Roberts gets the opening to the outside, and he's clear to walk into the end zone.
Mismatch on a linebacker. Haven Fields, not enough speed to catch that guy.
See, watch Milt Stegall. He's going to influence two defensive backs. He goes across the middle. That takes Butler with him, and then Roberts just slips out to where Butler was.
First touchdown was a while in coming, but the Bombers have a 9-5 lead on the Tiger Cats. 2:31 to play.
Way to go, KJ.
Here in the opening half. Easy to pick out a key play in the first half, isn't it?
It's Mr. Benefield, and he's coming in on that block on Paulus Bollison, sets up the great field position, and you got to block everybody on the line of scrimmage and restart them. We've seen in 2 nights now 3 block kicks, 2 last night, 1 tonight already. Lots of football to be played.
Westwood hammers this one. Right through the end zone.
It's a very strong win.
There's the breeze we talked about in the opening. It's a 95-yard kickoff that does not count as a single point, so it's 9-5. Ticats get the ball out at the 25.
Kahari Jones on the phone up to Paul LaPolice up in the booth. And Paul LaPolice probably telling them that's it. You know, we've got Charles Roberts. We also want to use Stegall because last week we used him quite a bit. We got Roberts involved. Nice distribution to all his receivers. Stegall with the big one.
Troy Davis. And this Bomber defense is stingy against running backs. Brechterfield, Brown, Fortney, and Benefield do not like to give up many yards to a running back, and they're backed up by the Briggs, Wickman, and Brian Clark. As a group, this front seven hates to give up anything near 100 yards rushing.
Well, they haven't.
And they don't do it very often.
They don't do it very often. And Ron Lancaster told me that before. He said, you know, we're not going to beat our heads against the wall trying to run on their defense. We'll mix in a few runs, but you just can't do it very well.
89, Andrew Grigg comes to the near side. McManus looks over the middle. Amerson was in the area.
Brian Clark almost had it. Lamar McGriggs put some pressure on Danny McManus with a nice little stunt from the linebacking position, and that sets up his partner back there, Brian Clark, with the very nearly had the interception. Here's Lamar McGriggs. He's going to take a little stutter step that way and then loop around, and when he does, he's free. See, a little step and then a loop around, and there it is now almost Brian Clark with the pick. They call the linebacking core, they call them the Three Amigos.
Clark, Griggs, Wickman, and Clark.
Yep, the Three Amigos.
Osbaldiston has another one blocked. Bombers look to have recovered again. Back-to-back blocks. Hawking has recovered the ball. Wade Miller was in there celebrating.
I think Brad Yamoka was involved.
And he recovered the previous one that set up the Winnipeg touchdown.
Brad Yamoka, they just outnumber the Ticats to that side of the field. Watch Brad Yamoka right here going to just shoot through the gap. Number 30, Brad Yamoka, just outnumbers him to that side.
It is Brad Yamoka.
And he is free. Sean Woodson stepped the other way. He's the personal protector that didn't give a whole lot of protection to Paul Osbaldiston.
So here are the Bombers set up in scoring range again after another block punt. Harry Jones looks to the corner. Not this time. Arland Bruce.
That doesn't happen very often where Arland Bruce drops one because he got in behind the coverage.
Caught 2 for touchdowns last week.
See that little stutter step? He saw Dwayne Butler looking back into the backfield, and that's exactly when he made his move. And the old adage for defensive backs and man-to-man defense, if your guy goes get the hot dog, you get the mustard. That time Dwayne Butler was looking in at the vendor as a quarterback. Right? Brad Yamoka with the big special teams play.
2nd and 10, Bombers. Shotgun for Kyrie Jones. Here's the pressure. And not this time. Looking for Mike Sellers, number 33.
Sorry, John.
Will settle for a try at 3.
This is what they like about Haven Fields. He had pretty good quickness to get out there.
Lots to talk about at the half, and the boys are fired up and ready to go.
Special teams, special teams.
Absolutely.
2 nights in a row.
Less than 2 minutes remaining in the opening half. Lots of excitement already. Couple of blocked punts. Some nice returns.
Well, that's a good defensive stand by Hamilton, though, or else this could have got ugly in a hurry.
Westwood adds to the Bomber total. And I don't know if Ron Lancaster has ever in his 42 years in this league seen punts blocked on back-to-back series.
When you look at the way he's walking up and down that sideline, he may just put on shoulder pads and go show someone how to block it. He is not happy.
Routine play most times, but back-to-back blocks have the Ticats in trouble, and we're in Hamilton at Ivor Wynn next Friday for Wendy's Friday Night Football. Lancaster will have cooled down a little bit by then.
Well, you don't want to be on the special teams at halftime in the locker room with Ron Lancaster. He's going to go in there and he's going to say special teams in this corner.
Flutie was hammered by Nash.
Couple of hits from Harold Nash. One on Troy Davis and that one on Darren Flutie. And that's, again, it's timing. Watch Harold Nash. He knows Flutie just wants to get to the inside, little move back, and just come up and go right through that right shoulder. Darren Flutie has been quiet. Harold Nash so far has him in the first half.
On 2nd and 10. Andrew Grigg to the near side. Tony Miles far side of the field. Flags are already flying. And Grigg and McManus are not on the same page there.
It's going to be offside against Winnipeg. I don't believe they were drawn offside, but right in the middle, Denny Fortney used a whole snap count across into the neutral zone.
Offside, Winnipeg number 90. Repeat 2nd down.
That's Denny Fortney, as mentioned.
Well, Dave Ritchie, I think at halftime will just want to get his offense a little bit more on track when they get the ball in their own end to put some drives together. That's really the only thing that has happened so far in this first half for their club. Their special teams are playing well, and on the other hand, Ron Lancaster is about ready to tear somebody. You know the rest of it.
Flags are down again, and that play whistle down.
Well, and because it's blocking assignments, and it's not, you know, particularly spectacular plays by the Winnipeg Bomber special team guys, because they've just had clear
open lanes.
Yeah, and that's just assignments, missed assignments in the blocking scheme, and Ron Lancaster will straighten that out at halftime. Especially when Paulus Ballison is kicking into the wind. You know, the rule of thumb is when you're kicking into the wind, you've got to hold those blockers a little bit longer. You got to make sure you hold your blocks. Let Paulus Ballison step into it.
Hamilton, 51. Repeat 2nd down.
Then when you get the wind at your back, then it's just to restart the guy before you take off running down the field. So that will be something they'll have to straighten out. Shamir Shaheen was the one that got the penalty on the last play, put him in 2nd and 10.
Into the final minute and a half in Winnipeg. McManus far side. He has Archie Amerson. Nice pass. First down, Ticats.
That's the confidence in Danny McManus that Danny McManus has in his own arm. Because against the wind that he's facing right now, that's a tough throw to make. You know, it looked like a little 10-yard toss to the outside, but in Canadian football against the wind, that is a long throw. And Danny McManus has the confidence to get it out there.
At game time, the wind was listed at 30 kilometers an hour. McManus has the Ticats out near midfield for the first down here in time to get to the end zone. Same direction that time. That one sailed a little bit on McManus. Darren Flutie was the target. Over 1,000 yards for Darren Flutie 9 times in his career.
Most of his career, Darren Flutie has worked with his buddy Danny McManus, and Darren Flutie has said that this will be his last year, and Danny McManus wants to play 4 more years. He said he'd like to play a year at 40 years old, so he's going to have to find another go-to guy for the last couple.
2nd and 10, McManus far side. The rookie Miles goes up and comes down with it. Tony Miles.
Well, you know, Tony Miles in the preseason, when you get 228 yards and 5 catches and 3 touchdowns, you make the team. That's as simple as it gets.
And last week, 5 for 69 yards.
And ask a young receiver, how do you make the team? You do that.
Gain is 12 yards. And this will be short of a first down under the coverage for Trevor Shaw.
Hey, McManus has lots of time. 1:07 left to put some points on the board and get some momentum. I mean, anyone saw that game last night, Ottawa and Edmonton. Edmonton right before the half scored to really grab the momentum from the Renegades, who had it in that first half, and then ended up with a big second half. So this is a key drive. And the Ticats, if they can cap it off with some points here.
It's an excellent drive so far. Looking at 2nd and 5. McManus near side. He's got Flutie, and Flutie has a first down.
Blitz pickup for Darren Flutie and Danny McManus. We talked about the two playing together for so long. When McManus sees blitz, he knows one guy will also see the same thing. Such a quick release. Awful tough to get to.
Well, the Bombers have gotten to him tonight.
Early in this game.
Early in the game, they got there.
Got there.
And they pressured him a couple of times, but right now, on this drive, McManus is in control, looking at another first down. At the Bomber 37, picked off. Tom Europe came close a while ago, and that's his first interception of the season.
Danny McManus normally will look off the free safety, and this time he doesn't. He kind of dials into that side of the field. It's Tom Europe, who's standing right up here at the free safety, right in the middle of the position. Watch the eyes of Danny McManus. They're going to be looking in that direction pretty much the whole time. Look at his head. He's going to the left, he's going to the left, he's going to the left, and he went to the left. Tom Europe sitting right there. And Danny McManus had the other hash mark open as Amerson is just trying to go down the hash, hoping that Danny McManus can influence the safety with his eyes. Tom Europe has a little bit of experience of his own, 10 years as a matter of fact, and slides over there to snuff up the drive.
He's one of Dave Ritchie's gang. They were together in BC. A couple of big hits last week. He's got the interception here tonight. Less than a minute to go, and Roberts is wrapped up.
Cheatwood is fun to watch. Tim Cheatwood is playing pretty good first half, but there have been some big plays in this first half. Special teams. Benefield. Yamoka.
And that cost the Tiger Cats 10 points.
Yep.
Second and 13. Stiegel made the catch. He'll be wrapped up well short of the first down. Into the final 16 seconds on the scoreboard clock unofficially here.
Yeah.
Winnipeg on top by 7.
And now McManus really has no time to put a drive together, because when Bob Cameron puts his foot on this ball, who knows where it may stop with this wind.
Gimli is that way.
What is it, Gimli? Well,
he's kicking towards Gimli.
Well, in his career, Bob Cameron has probably kicked past that. How many miles is Gimli from here?
It's about 54 or 5.
I'm sure he's kicked past that in his career. 4-time All-Canadian Bob Cameron. Bit of a back problem in camp. I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, I went and talked to the trainer, and I told him, I don't know what's wrong with my back. And the trainer said, well, have you looked at your birth certificate lately? You're an old man. Still getting it done, though.
Cameron into his 23rd season in the CFL. Mace Freeman has almost run out the clock with that return. Time for one play. We'll enjoy the halftime entertainment.
Well, the cheerleaders start cheering when they know the halftime show is coming up.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Well, no, and you'll get to watch Randorf, Schultz, Dunnigan, and Climbing.
Yeah. And they have their own cheerleading section in there.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see it often on camera, but it's in there. They're cheering away for him. Danny McManus, 9 for 22, just 88 yards. It seems like he's been into the wind all game. It was a quick first quarter, and then he turned around, and he'll just kneel down to end this half so that the special teams lecture from Ron Lancaster can begin.
Yeah, they'll want to get it underway very early.
It'll be a special board meeting for special teams, and the chair of the board will be Coach Lancaster. Well, and I think it will be one of those situations where the coach talks, you listen, and you get things straightened out.
You can't blame him for being a little bit grumpy. His back-to-back Osbaldiston punts were blocked, and that led directly to 10 points for the Bombers. Until then, the Tiger Cats had a narrow lead.
And it's simple things, just picking up your responsibility. They'll get it straightened out.
Flying high, the Bombers in Winnipeg. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football.
At the Half is brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's classic double with cheese is made fresh right when you order it. It's better here.
And welcome back, everybody. Schultz, Dunnigan, Climbing, Randorf. It is 12-5 Bombers, special teams and defense. There's your first half. And what a disastrous second quarter for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 2 blocked punts leading directly to Winnipeg's 10 points. They have the lead, plus that interception when it looked as though Hamilton was going to get some points back. We have not seen that high-octane offense of the Bombers click yet deep, Manny, but Kahari Jones is trying.
That's right. He's trying, Dave, and he's trying to set it up. And we see him going deep, just to go deep, basically, trying to stretch that defense on purpose for a reason, create some space underneath. He's going to throw the ball up, and hey, it looks like lack of communication here, and it is. So what does Kahari do? He goes to the sideline and says, hey, buddy, come on. Let's get this straight. Go deep. I know he was over the top. Continue on your route. We've got a purpose here. He's simply policing house, Jock. He's setting up things in the second half, trying to stretch that Hamilton defense vertically.
And the Hamilton defense, I think, is playing great so far. I talked at the top of the show about how many changes there are in the Hamilton lineup. Now, one thing we haven't talked about is the continuity in the coaching staff. That's all important. Let's contrast that with what's happening in Toronto. And last week, we have a defensive secondary, veteran bunch of guys in Toronto letting this happen. There's no one within 30 yards of this guy, and that's because they're implementing a new system. Now let's have a look at Hamilton so far in this half. They're playing great with a bunch of new players. Why? Because Coach Southern has got the same system he's had for years, and they're just picking Jones apart here. Hitchcock has come up with a huge interception here. Unfortunately, they weren't able to score off it. Now, I also talked at the top of the show about how Jones loves to throw the ball up to covered receivers. The old jump ball doesn't work here. Watch Mathis go up and take this ball away from Bruce. That's some great defense right there, and I believe it's because of the coaching staff has stayed consistent, except for the special teams coordinator in Hamilton. He's new, and that might have something to do with the 2 block punts so far.
Possibly so, but my point is also about the Hamilton defense. Not only are they playing good pass defense, but pretty good run defense on Charles Roberts. Watch this play and count how many of the Hamilton Ticats are right there at point of attack. These are some young guys, some major changes, but I see right now 1, 2, 3, 4 Hamilton Ticats right there delivering a good hit on Roberts. And then also on a screenplay, Roberts is going to get the ball. But once again, the pursuit, the ability to recognize the play, hustle back to the football. And Haven Fields comes in here and makes a major league shot on Charles Roberts. And he got up slow after that football. Bottom line of this whole half, the 2 block punts. They say if you get 1 punt block, you get a 50% chance to win. If you get 2 block punts, you do not have a chance to win. That will prove out to be the difference in the game, even in the second half.
In the first quarter, we were singing the praises of Ozzie for the 96-yard single.
I know, we liked him.
I know, poor guy had turned around on him big time as he had...
Jinxed him.
Yeah, we jinxed. It's our fault, Ozzie. Sorry about that. A couple of former BC Lions that played for Dave Ritchie in Vancouver, Doug Hawking and David Benefield. And here's the only touchdown for the Bombers, Charles Roberts. Dancing into the end zone, 12-5, Winnipeg.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sports.
July 5th, 1986, Hall of Famer Tom Clements and the Blue Bombers taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Joe Poplawski having a nice day for Winnipeg. Clements hits his favorite target for his second touchdown of the game, 24-0, and the rout continues in the third. Clements calls his own number and goes in for the major. Big victory for the Bombers, big embarrassment for the Riders. 56-0 was the final. The Riders are hoping to do a little better tonight. They're at home to the Calgary Stampeders, a team they have not beaten since September of 1998. They are late in the first quarter, and here's the very latest. Paul McCallum, who was the hero last week in Ottawa, kicked a winning field goal from 54 yards. He started it off with a 38-yarder, and then check this out. Kneel on green to Derek Armstrong, a 100-yard touchdown reception. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders, trying to go to 2-0, have a nice little 10-point lead late in the first quarter. If you want to get yourself out to Taylor Field or Ivor Wynne or any of these ballparks, get out and see some live CFL action. Here are the numbers to call in the East and the West. You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Football. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers with a 12-5 lead over Hamilton.
Hi, my name is Tommy Europe from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Just want to say a special thank you to all the Canadian troops in Bosnia and Afghanistan. Keep up the good work.
Here are the halftime numbers brought to you by Moore's Clothing for Men. Well-made, well-priced, well-dressed. Just like Chris Schultz. What do you see with the numbers there, Schultz?
Well, first and foremost, 3 turnovers for Hamilton, only 1 for Winnipeg. That's going to determine the game. Time of possession for Winnipeg. It's no doubt he who has the short field in the second half is going to win this one, David.
Dave Ritchie is, you know, he's always tense during a game, even with the lead. Let's see what he had to say to our Greg Musselman.
Bombers head coach Dave Ritchie, we expect a lot of offense, but some big defense from your team and also those block punts.
Our special teams on block punts did outstanding. We need to score touchdowns because our offense is not playing very well. And we can't get the ball in after a turnover on the 12-yard line. We're in trouble, and that's what I'm going to go talk to them about. If our defense wasn't playing so well, this would be a different game.
Last week against Toronto, the offense was slow getting going. Second half seems to be kind of the trademark for your guys.
Well, we'll see, because for the third straight week playing at home, we're going to get the wind in the fourth period. So, again, you put the strain on the defense because we'll defend again, and we've had it every game at home. People learn coming to the prairies, but it's a very important fact, and I don't know if anybody... I hope the rest of the teams don't pay much attention to it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
You're always entertaining, Dave Ritchie. Oh, speaking of entertainment, you know, last night we had the mascots. Tonight, guys in bubbles, only in the CFL.
Winnipeg's Dave Ritchie, a happy guy with 10 points off turnovers. Lancaster not happy. He's standing by with Greg Musselman.
Okay. Ron, obviously disappointed with the block punts. So what did you tell your guys?
Well, you know, you're going to have to punt in this game, and it's about time you learn to block.
Did you make some adjustments then?
No, just got to do a better job. It's a heck of a football game when you play this style of game, and the team makes the fewest mistakes is going to win. We made ours in the first half. I mean, you can't give a team like Winnipeg field position on the 10-yard line and expect to win. So we got to come back and make them make some mistakes and capitalize on it.
Thanks, Ron. Good luck in the second half.
Mace Freeman returning for the Tiger Cats. This could be a great beginning for Hamilton to get the second half underway. He's all the way out to midfield at the 55, and special teams a big part of this already.
Yeah, and special teams will always be a bigger part of a game when the weather becomes a factor, and the weather has been a factor tonight with that wind. And right now, Danny McManus has the wind. Ron Lancaster is finished with the lectures and basically said, look, guys, we don't have to draw up any more different special teams plays. All we have to do is play them better, block them better, execute.
44-yard return for Freeman. And so the Tiger Cats begin on the Blue Bomber side of midfield. First down there. Troy Davis. Somewhere around 4 yards for Davis there.
Well, not typical numbers when you look at the quarterbacks' numbers for the first half. Not very typical for either of these quarterbacks. They're struggling a little bit. The wind is a factor. There's no question about it. And right now, Danny McManus has it, and he has to do whatever he can with it, as many points as he can, because The fourth quarter is always the longest quarter.
Call it a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. And there was early movement and flags everywhere. Did the Ticats move a little early down there?
That one was close. We'll let the officials sort it out.
Procedure.
I think they did.
Hamilton, number 51. Repeat second down.
See, and that's, you know, that's 5 precious seconds with the win for Hamilton. You use that whole time in the huddle, you go break up onto the football, then you get a penalty, you got to back up, you got to do it all over again.
And it's 2nd and 12. McManus over the middle. Picked. Amerson was the target. And another interception by the Blue Bombers.
Mustafa Muhammad read Amerson's mail and was right there.
Another turnover could be costly to the Tiger Cats. That's the defensive halfback, formerly known as Steve Mohammed, now as Mustafa Mohammed. He has the interception to get the second half underway for Winnipeg.
And he's looking pretty, isn't he? Fixing up his hair. CFL's Rookie of the Year back in 1998.
McManus has thrown back-to-back interceptions. Europe had the first, Mohammed the second. Arlen Bruce the third was the target, couldn't bring it in.
That year back in 98 in BC, Mustafa Muhammad had 10 picks. Here's the first one, Tommy Europe, just before halftime. And then Mustafa Muhammad, he is right there when Archie Amerson, interestingly enough, Archie Amerson, the intended receiver on both interceptions. I don't think it bothers him much. He'll be back.
He doesn't seem too worried in spite of the fact the Ticats are down by a touchdown.
Well, most importantly for Winnipeg is they're eating up time on the clock.
Antonio Brown climbed the ladder and brought that one down.
Looks like right now Kahari Jones in his first 2 throws against the win here is really trying to strong arm that ball. The first play, he was just off the mark trying to really force it into the win. And the second one, he made Antonio Brown turn around and look like more of a gymnast than anything else to try and catch that ball.
So it'll be 3rd down for the Bombers.
Tony and Brown right over the middle, and it's a hard pass in behind him. Brown comes up with the catch, can't get first down yardage.
Antonio Brown made one superb catch last week and got a touchdown in his CFL debut. 3 receptions, 73 yards for Antonio Brown last week. He takes a break, and so will we. Bombers in a kicking situation when we return. Storm clouds over Winnipeg, but so far the rain is holding up. Next Tuesday, we'll be at the stadium at BC Place indoors. Lions and the Argonauts in that one for a 10:30 Eastern time start, 7:30 Pacific. So why don't you drop by and say hi? We'll be up there right in our little broadcast location.
Well, if you want to come and say hi, there's a number to call to get your tickets and go see which team will get their first win of the season.
Lions and the Argos Tuesday in BC.
Matt Sheridan hurt on that last throw to Antonio Brown, and it was his teammate Mo Elwanibi that stepped on him. Take a look right here. Mo Elwanibi right there. See his foot? Mo Elwanibi's right foot stepping on Matt Sheridan's ankle and twisting it.
Sheridan was taken off in the cart in the Grey Cup game, you might recall.
And Matt Sheridan is a great story because a couple of years ago, he was a 6th-round pick, and in a couple of years has moved into a starting role.
Bobbled by Tony Miles. The Bombers say they've recovered. Andre Arlane coming up from the bottom of the pile. Too many turnovers by the Tiger Cats.
Well, it's all the special teams, and right now Winnipeg is dominating that phase of the game, whether or not they're blocking punts or recovering fumbles. It looked like Miles just peeked to the hole before he caught the football, and it was just a split second early, but it was enough so that he couldn't see it. It hit his chest and bounced off, and I think
Byron Capers.
Yeah, Byron Capers bounced right to him. And that's a Winnipeg bounce for you right there, and the frustration for Ron Lancaster continues to build with regards to a special team.
2 blocked punts by the Bombers led directly to 10 points in the opening half. And it'll be tough to keep the Bombers from scoring points off this turnover. Kahari Jones, Antonio Brown, and he's made a couple of nice catches so far tonight, making the connection. CFL completion of the week. Your votes will be counted starting soon at CFL headquarters.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. You just log on to CFL.ca and then you can vote on what you think is the catch of the week. This is a pretty nice one over the middle. Tough catch to make simply because there's a lot of traffic in there. You don't like that one?
I don't think it'll stand.
Well, it might not stand, but
you can nominate it.
Well, maybe Antonio Brown's friends are out there. They might want to pick that one.
Gain of 14 yards. Bombers look to the end zone. Kahari Jones takes off, and he won't get away. Wrapped up rather quickly by Marcus Spencer. So we'll tabulate the votes for what you think is the connection of the week, completion of the week, on making the connection, and we'll let you know which one football fans have chosen Friday night.
Yeah, not only that, there's some great information on that website, CFL.ca. Keep up to date on what's happening in the league, and then cast your vote. And we'll see who wins.
See, you like that
Friday.
one, so you'll be on the typer tonight. Sitting at the keyboard.
I've seen some good catches. There was a bunch of catches last night in that Ottawa-Edmonton game. The touchdown.
Low snap. Kahari Jones recovers from that. Tosses to the corner. And no one was home.
Well, you know, I will say this about the Hamilton defense. With all these turnovers and the problems they've had on special teams, they're hanging in there and they're giving their team a chance. Don Southern's system is working perfectly because he's had to plug a lot of new personnel into that system. But they're holding their own right now in some terrible field positions. This is the second time in this game they've been down inside the 20 and had Troy Westwood have to come out on the field.
Look at the new guys up front for the Tiger Cats. Just about everyone is a fresh face in the front 7 with the exception of Woodson and Chris Schelling. Westwood into the breeze, and he's got 3 more for the Bomber total. Now the wind has shifted a little bit here in Winnipeg Stadium. It's now more of a cross breeze.
And it's a little stronger than that flag indicates.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Well, stay with us right after the game. We'll have it all for you on Sports Center. Duffy and Amber at the controls tonight. All the football highlights. Story of the other game this evening with the Rough Riders hosting the Stampeders. Both teams serious about wanting a victory in this one tonight as well. Saskatchewan at 1-0. Calgary at 0-1 after a loss to Edmonton last week. So highlights of that as well. So it counts the Tiger Cats 3. Darren Flutie makes a nice catch.
That was close to a late hit from Tom Europe on Darren Flutie.
Made a nice catch, held onto the ball, and he'll move the chains for a 14-yard gain. Ask and you shall receive. It is 18-0. Saskatchewan leading Calgary, second quarter.
Calgary Stampeders had a nice preseason. I went and watched their preseason game versus the Lions, and they looked fairly strong in that game. However, a lot of players play in the preseason, but they're struggling out of the gate right now.
On first down, first big run for the Tiger Cats. Troy Davis against this Blue Bomber defense.
You almost wonder here if Danny McManus is going to think about getting into the hurry-up offense with the wind at his back. Now, you have mentioned that it's shifted a little bit, so it's a crosswind, and maybe they're taking it a little bit more out of their thinking because of that. And it is starting to die down a little bit, I believe.
Davis picked up 7 yards. This will be 2nd and 3. Tiger Cats out across midfield. And Davis again, he'll be close to a first down, but I do believe just a little bit shy. Well, it's been a struggle for the Tiger Cats on special teams with 10 points off block punts and then 3 more points on an interception to begin the 3rd quarter here.
Yeah, you know, Danny McManus last year did such a nice job of cutting down those interception totals. Just 9 on the season. He's got a couple here tonight.
Ticats go gambling on 3rd down, and McManus.
See, now there's Danny McManus running with the football, and we saw that little running with the football in week 1 versus the BC Lions. In fact, Danny McManus had a touchdown. It was interesting when he ran for his touchdown. It took some time, and RD, the offensive coordinator, he said with this touchdown run last week, what did he say to you about this run?
Well, he said this run took longer than the entire drive for the touchdown. That's what he told McManus. But they were calling him Damon in the dressing room after the game.
Is that right? Yeah, he loves to have fun with that.
McManus near side. Amerson can't get underneath it. Coverage by Mohammed. Word on Sheridan, a badly sprained ankle. He will not be back. So,
you know, you talk about Danny McManus and Kahari Jones, and prior to the game, I had a nice conversation with McManus. We joked about that run last week, and then Kahari Jones was out there warming up with his entire receiving corps, and he's doing striders up and down, full 100-yard striders. And McManus gets up and he says, hey, Kahari, you got to stop doing that. You're setting a precedent. Now you're going to make me run, and I don't think I can make it from one end of the field to the other.
They get a time with an egg timer on that. Penalty marker is down. Covering on the play was Marvin Coleman. McManus wants an indication.
I think they're gonna kick. Marvin Coleman came over the top and I believe knocked that ball down, so force Hamilton to punt it. Griggs wanted a penalty. He thought Marvin Coleman was on his back. He didn't get it. Then there was some pushing after the fact. I believe it was Dave Hacker, Paul Lambert, who got pushed afterwards. No call there either, so Hamilton has to punt the ball.
Osbaldiston puts it out at the 5-yard line. Great punt there. Bombers still have a 10-point lead. 7:02 to play. 3rd quarter. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football from Winnipeg. Back in Winnipeg, it's the Bombers on top 15-5. Wendy's Friday Night Football. Interesting game here.
Matt Sheraton is out of the lineup on that O-line, so Dan Getve, the rookie, number 62 from Windsor, is in there. 6'7", 275 pounds. He's going to get baptism by fire here at the tackle position, and it's the left tackle. That's the hot one.
He's a raw rookie at 6'7". And the Tiger Cats have studied him a little bit because he has not had the mobility and the freedom to run out there that he had earlier in the game. Tim Cheatwood made the tackle.
Tim Cheatwood right here. Watch how quickly he gets around that corner. Goodbye. Getve pulled, and he earholes Charles Roberts. He's a keeper, and he's not cheating. Cheatwood's not cheating.
No.
And he wouldn't be.
2 sacks in the preseason for Cheatwood and 1 last week. Big play there. Harry Jones looks at 2nd and long, and he's got Milt Stegall. Huge play for the Bombers out across the 40-yard line. Pretty to watch. Kahari Jones to Milt Stegall.
It's the toughest play, I think, in football to cover. With Milt Stegall from the left side of the field coming all the way across to the right side and just simply running away from Troy Saunders. The field at 65 yards wide is just so tough to cover from sideline to sideline, and Milt Stegall covers all that ground. The reason he can do it is because Kahari Jones has time to throw the ball.
Stiegel an All-Canadian again last year. This is Charles Roberts. Troy Saunders was in on the tackle, number 6 for the Tiger Cats.
Well, Stiegel's had some big years in this league, and maybe his biggest was 97. Last year he was an All-Canadian. He had 1,214 yards, 14 touchdowns. Back in 97, his best year, 1,600 yards and 14 touchdowns. And you know, when teams blitz Kahari Jones, it's Milt Stiegel he looks for.
Not a bad week last week with 7 receptions, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Great beginning for Stiegel in 2002. Nice fake by Kahari Jones. He has Mike Sellers. Haven Fields made the tackle on Sellers, a tough guy to bring down at 260 pounds, but he really didn't get up ahead of steam.
Tim Cheatwood there just saved a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is sort of the play away from the play, and this is how important a pass rush becomes. Cheatwood's going to come up in Kahari Jones' face, and Milt Stiegel up at the top of your screen. Look at him wide open. If Kahari Jones can step up in the pocket, watch what Stiegel does. The son goes around the jet. Now look, in behind coverage. He's waving, he's going, oh no! And that's all because of the pass rush from Tim Cheatwood.
Here's Bob Cameron. Takes a low snap and hammers it down to the 20-yard line. Miles escapes. Tony Miles grabbed an extra 5 on the return for 9 yards in total. There's your score. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football from Winnipeg. Tiger Cats are down by 10. Not an insurmountable lead by any stretch of the imagination. They have to cut down on the errors. McManus first down. Looking for Miles. Coverage was too tight.
Well, it's not insurmountable, a 10-point lead. There's no question about that, especially when you have a guy like Danny McManus at the quarterback for you as the head coach. But what Ron Lancaster's probably most frustrated about at this point is that they have the win right now and they've done nothing with it, and this quarter is almost gone. 3:44 left and counting.
To the near side, Tony Miles. 4 receivers to the far side of the field. McManus from the shotgun. Over the middle. Amerson can't get it. And it was up for grabs. Raphael Ball might have had a shot at it had he seen exactly the direction in which it bounced.
Dave Donaldson just did, I think, 10 push-ups. Because I'm pretty sure it was 10. He might have only done 9, and we'll check with him on that at the end. But in practice, that's what the guys do in the defensive secondary. If you get a touchdown in practice and you have an interception in your hands, see, and Dave Donaldson had it in his hands, so right after that he went down and did 10 push-ups.
Ross Balliston with the stiff breeze. Harlan Bruce with the return. With a spin across the 45 to about the 47. Back to Ivor Wynne next Friday night. And the Stampeders are in town to take on the Tiger Cats. Kickoff 7 o'clock Eastern. Dave Ritchie has to be pleased with what he's seen from his football team in really all phases of the game.
Yeah, but I think, you know, so far so good, especially in the special teams phase of the game for Dave Ritchie. But he knows in this game, with Danny McManus on that opposite sideline, it's far from over.
Jones stands in and fires a strike for a first down. And Tony O'Brien one more time.
You know, Kahari Jones gets stronger as the game goes on. And we talked about his slow start in the first quarter. And over last season, this is exactly what happened. In the first quarter, his quarterback rating 83. Then it went down to 69 in the second. But then the game got on the line. Now it's important. Third quarter, fourth quarter, it's its best. And that's when you become a money quarterback. And that's what Kahari did all last year.
Bombers, after a slow start last week against the Argos, got 22 points in the second half. Here's Charles Roberts. Grabbed just under the helmet A little shy of the first down.
You get the feeling that he's about to break one, a big one.
Didn't miss by much there.
51 yards, but it just takes one big run to jump that way over 100, and he is basically one tackle away. He's making the first guy miss every time he touches the ball.
233 all-purpose yards for Roberts last week. There he goes again. And he'll have the first down.
Well, he got in the end zone once. That was in the first half, and that was through the air. Little crossing pattern. Got picked from his receivers. Got out in the open one-on-one with Haven Fields. And Haven Fields at 6'2", 230 said, I can't catch you. Little water bug all the way over there on the side of the field.
Back-to-back carries for Charles Roberts. And that's another Winnipeg first down. Into the final minute now, third quarter. Harry Jones with time. And he's got Roberts again. Down to the 30.
See how quickly Charles Roberts put the brakes on as he caught that ball and flipped back into the middle. It's just great foot speed for Charles Roberts to come across the field full speed. Look at this. Brakes, back around. I mean, momentum will take the defender another step or two before he can put on the brakes, and so Charles Roberts just takes advantage and gets close to the first down yardage.
Inches necessary to move the chains for the Blue Bombers. Free play here. Forward to pass.
Go deep.
Arlen Bruce, the third, will have the first down, coming back to make the catch. And this Bomber drive continues.
You know, you could almost call Arlen Bruce Arlen Jump Ball Bruce, because it seemed to me last year when that ball was up in the air, he became a basketball player and he went up and fought the defender for the football.
Barring a penalty, this will be the last play of the third quarter in Winnipeg tonight. Bombers inside the Ticat 25. Roberts, another fine run. He's down near the 15. Great to watch. Averaging 6.5 yards a carry coming into this one tonight. Bombers are in control and will continue this drive when we return to Winnipeg.
Welcome back to the CFL Live studio. You know, the Hamilton Tiger Cats had a pretty solid week last week against the BC Lions, and they had a decent start tonight on the road against Winnipeg, but since then, they've allowed 15 unanswered points, and they trail by 10, and this is not their night. It's not looking like their night
it's
anyway.
not their night. You know, this is about the easiest game to explain as to why one team is not playing very good football, and I can say it in about 7 seconds. Here we go. 2 interceptions, 2 block punts, a fumble punt return, 2 offsides, 1 holding, 1 unnecessary roughness, and a face mask. That's the bottom line. Those are all penalties by the Hamilton Ticats, situations or turnovers. That's why they only have 5 points. It's that easy, Matty.
Yeah, Chris, we heard Dave Ritchie trying to explain the win situation that you always have to contend with when you go over there to that stadium. And let me try to get into Dave Ritchie's head a little bit. What he's saying is he can't believe that he's got the wind at his back in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. Those are the 2 longest quarters, and that's exactly what you want. And this is how it's played out thus far in the first 3 quarters, and this is why Winnipeg is up. Hamilton, they got 4 points with the win at their back, 1 into it. Winnipeg, they got 12 points with the win at their back, and they've got 3 in the third quarter going into it. So advantage Hamilton. Dave shakes his head. He says coaches don't understand it when they come over there, but they do understand it. It's just a difficult place to play in, and Dave Ritchie knows that wind is so beneficial for him in the fourth quarter.
Well, Winnipeg seems to have figured this out completely. You know, at the top of the show, we talked about how Winnipeg's a big play offense and Hamilton likes a nickel and dime. Well, they made liars of us here. Winnipeg, well, first of all, Hamilton's had basically no offense, whereas Winnipeg, look at Harry Jones. He's got 31 attempts for 18 completions, but look at the yards, 170 yards. That's about 9.5 yards per completion. That is not the offense we expected from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but it is very effective nonetheless, and they're dominating.
Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have won the last 3 regular season meetings, the last 4 meetings if you include the Eastern Final, and right now they've got a 10-point lead at home heading into the 4th quarter. Here's John and Glenn.
And Dave threatening to add to that lead with a 2nd down 3 situation just outside the Tiger Cat 15-yard line. It's been a nice drive.
It's been the Charles Roberts drive is what it's been.
Now into the 4th quarter. Charles Roberts has it again. Stopped initially. Now tries to turn the corner, and that didn't work at all. Wrapped up by Dwayne Butler. And they'll be forced into a kicking situation.
Well, they were pretty close in the first half, but now this is starting to add up here. See, 16 first downs means 10 more minutes with the football, and that means the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense is hoping the oxygen mask drop from the compartment above them.
Well said. Charles Roberts, a nice night. This guy is fun to watch anytime he gets his hands on the ball.
Well, now if the Ticats want to come back, they have to come back into the win. Just to add a little bit more of a challenge to that side of the field.
Cameron will hold. Troy Westwood looks to put it through from 23 yards away. He's got it. So Westwood is having a good night. Bombers special teams are contributing in every way. Huge plays on special teams propelling the Bombers. There's Benefield's block.
Brad Yamoka gets in on the action.
10 points the result of those 2.
And then a fumble by the Ticats that Byron Capers picks up. 3 huge special teams plays for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's been one-sided in that phase of the game tonight.
Troy Westwood has just made it 18-5. McManus has Trevor Shaw, and that's a huge first down for the Tiger Cats at around midfield.
Take a look at the second half so far. Hamilton Tiger Cats had the win. They threw an interception in the first series and then punt, and they've completed 1 pass in their 4th series of this second half. So Ron Lancaster Jr., which is way to the left of that pitcher, trying to work some magic from up in the booth.
He's got about 13 minutes to get the Tiger Cats close. Batted down. Big mitts. Lamar McGriggs.
Well, Lamar McGriggs gets a one-on-one with Dwayne Ford, and he kind of pushes him back. This is Lamar McGriggs right here in the stand-up position. He's going to shoot through a gap and go one-on-one with Ford. Pushes him back a little bit and then gets in there and gets his left hand up. That never happens if Dwayne Ford steps up and hits him in the hole.
Playing his 75th CFL game this evening. 2nd and 10. McManus just got it away, but he has Andrew Gregg, and Gregg heads to the end zone. Can he be caught from behind? Yes, at the 5-yard line. Tracked down by Brian Clark. And now something to smile about for Danny McManus.
Well, he just got it off, and Andrew Gregg got across the middle. But again, Danny McManus, now he's starting to look off. See, he looks this way, and then he goes back over the middle, and there is Andrew Gregg. Remember in the first half, he didn't look off Tommy Europe, and Tom Europe intercepted the pass. This time he looks the opposite way, and then after the fact, Andrew Gregg picks up some good yardage.
That's making the connection. I would nominate
you like that one
for the reception of the week. You can cast your votes. Completion of the week, CFL.ca.
Doesn't have to be a touchdown catch.
No.
But it's a pretty catch, one you like. Go ahead and vote on it.
The touchdown run ends at the 1-yard line. Not quite for Troy Davis. That ball out in front of him.
You know, Danny McManus had to sort of tiptoe through a minefield here to get this ball off. He's got pressure coming. Dave Donaldson off the backside. He just gets rid of it in time. And Andrew Gregg afterwards run down by Brian Clark, who saves the touchdown so far.
Gregg actually made 2 nice plays. The catch got rid of one defender and then another to get down to the 5. From there, it's Ford, lost the ball, but they call it a touchdown.
Well, they're calling touchdown that he crossed the plane before he fumbled the football.
Dwayne Ford got the call. The ball was loose, but apparently he had broken the plane of the goal line and the touchdown stands.
Just has to have possession when he breaks the plane. They're calling him down before it was ripped out of there. But that ball definitely came out of Dwayne Ford's hands. Second effort right here. That hit by Nash kept him out. Oh, that was very, very close. Let's say this will be a great angle for you right here. Dwayne Ford, the ball is out there. Remember, it's the front of the goal line.
Just have to break the plane with the ball in your hands. Tempers flare down there, and there are penalty markers down.
That was very, very close. But the official didn't hesitate. The arms went up immediately. You know, you think the way things are going, the Ticats almost need a break.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 65, after the convert, will put it on the kickoff.
Was it a fumble? Wasn't it a fumble? Refs say no. They say touchdown.
Ticats get one back. Maybe a little luck is starting to go their way. Dwayne Ford's touchdown will stand, but it is oh so close.
Well, it was tough for the official because Dwayne Ford was turned when he went across the goal line, but it looked like the ball came out. Now, was it across the plane? I mean, the officials reacted immediately that it was a touchdown.
Charles Roberts out across the 45. So let's take another look.
Yeah, one more quick look. Like, where did Dwayne Ford lose possession of this ball? The front of the end zone line is what he has to cross. Now, he's got possession here. Here comes the hit. Now, Nash pulls the ball out right about now. See, now, if you go down that plane, that ball is about halfway across the goal line. That official behind there is the one who calls it. See, and does he have possession? It is so close. It looks like it's almost that he doesn't have the ball, but it's underneath his arm loose. The officials call it across the line.
Bombers end up with decent field position after a rough play penalty following that. Well, Stiegel better than halfway to a first down on Stiegel's catch there.
Well, I showed you that quarterback rating for Kahari Jones from last year, and fourth quarter is his best. Danny McManus just wants the ball back because he has got a drive going. That throw to Andrew Grigg, one of the big plays, 49-yarder in a 4-play drive. Finally, the Hamilton offense gets on track.
Well, a big play by Andrew Grigg really was the story of that Tiger Cat drive. Gain of 8 for Stiegel. This is 2nd and 2, Winnipeg. Roberts will have the first down. 3 Tiger Cats firing back.
You know, Dave Ritchie, when that ball went across the end zone by Dwayne Ford, really didn't argue a whole lot. And I think the reason for it was that the officials were
decisive. They made the call quickly.
but they did it quickly. And that's my point. I mean, the call was made, it was decisive, and it was quick. And that was why Dave Ritchie didn't make a whole lot of argument over it.
It is really close, Glenn. Very, very close. First down, Bombers. Kahari Jones. Back across midfield. He's got the big guy, Mike Sellers. First time he's really had an opportunity to run with the football, and he's a tough guy to bring down at 260.
Well, yeah, especially when from a defensive perspective for Hamilton now you're getting real tired. I mean, that we showed you that time of possession in the third quarter and really favoring the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And Don Southern's now got to find a way to protect that front seven, put them in defenses that they don't get too much more tired out, or else Kahari Jones will take advantage of it.
Just 4 years experience with that entire front seven, or the front four of Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And then the newcomer right there.
And a newcomer in the middle.
Yeah.
Schelling and Woodson are the other linebackers, and they've been around. Second down, inches to go. It'll be a first down conversion as this Bomber drive continues with less than 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And we talked about Dave Ritchie. He's not really shown any emotion down on that sideline at this point because he knows that there's a veteran team across the other side of the field. And I think he has a little experience in the CFL and knows how quickly you can score.
Well, and look at the scoreboard. It's a 6-point game as we stand here right now. And look what the Tiger Cats have given away. On first down, Jones looks deep. Arland Bruce just off his fingertips. Dwayne Butler was covering.
You know, and that may be a case of having the wind at your back for Kahari Jones. Push that ball a little far. You know, you think for a quarterback, you'd always want the wind at your back, but sometimes it can hurt you as well because that ball was, rather than up and over the top, it looked like the wind pushed it a little long, and Kahari said, I should have played a 9-iron, not an 8-iron.
Just that much too far. 2nd and 10, Blue Bombers. Time again for Kahari. Huge hit. The CFL, Antonio Brown.
Oh, no.
Rob Hitchcock.
Say it as it's so. Antonio Brown is going to wake up and his uniform is going to be out of style. Whoa, baby. Rob Hitchcock, bang, right in that area. This is the danger zone, folks. Don't tread through that area. Oh, and he stares him down from the bench, too. Antonio Brown got up. Give him credit.
Here's Westwood, 3 for 3 tonight. Nice to see after what happened to Troy Westwood through last season. And he's got one off the post.
And he needs some breaks, too, because last season was a tough one for Troy Westwood, and he's bounced right back.
Osbaldiston put one off the post in the first half. And it went through and counted. There's one for Troy Westwood. A little bank shot, too. It's 21-12. Thanks, Troy Westwood, 4 for 4 tonight. We talked about it being nice to see a comeback like that after the Grey Cup performance that was very shaky.
Well, he struggled last year the entire season. In fact, Westwood in 2001 hit on 60% of his kicks. That's his worst season ever. And then went 1 of 4 in the Grey Cup. And Ritchie, after the Grey Cup game in a press conference, said, we got to find a new kicker. And they were looking to possibly make a change. Westwood worked hard in the offseason. You can see by his concentration, he is not taking anything for granted any longer.
First down, Tiger Cats. McManus complete to Tony Miles.
You know, Westwood went and worked really hard. He went to some kicking camps. He worked on his game. He worked on the fundamentals. And you can tell right now he's working on the mental aspect. He went to on the mental aspect of the game right here because most of the time the kickers, after the kick, they walk up and down, they chat with the guys. Westwood will no longer take it for granted. He's going to take advantage of every minute that he's on that field now and make sure he does his job this year.
After a 9-yard gain, this is 2nd and 1, and that will be enough for the first down. We talked about thunderstorms in the vicinity. There was a huge storm in Winnipeg last night. There is lightning now in the vicinity, and the referee has the right to call the game or at least send the players to the dressing room until the lightning clears the area. It wouldn't be canceled. It would be suspended. They try and get it in later.
So the guys in the panel might have to stop eating the pizza and start getting ready.
Yeah, so go on your ties, guys.
But that happened one time when I was playing in Saskatchewan. We were here in Winnipeg, and there was a huge thunderstorm. It was coming down hard with rain, and a shot of lightning actually hit the stadium. And as it hit, it cracked off the corner of the stadium. About 45 players hit the deck. Like, we all dove to the ground. Felt like it was that close, and of course everyone ran to the locker room. So it has happened before in the CFL where they've had to stop the game for a while.
Now, they have never canceled a CFL game or postponed one until the next day, except that 61 Grey Cup for the fog. At least regular season or playoff games. Good catch made at the 50-yard line.
How did he get that in
traffic, Amerson makes the catch.
How did McManus get that one in there?
There was a preseason game a couple of years ago that was canceled because there was nothing on the line and the storm was not going away.
This football had eyes on it. That was a lot of traffic. 4 Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the area, and somehow Archie Amerson came up with it. Danny McManus will often throw into coverage and trust his arm strength, and the receiver will come up with it.
McManus got it away quickly. This is Mace Freeman looking for a block. Doesn't get it that time, but he has about 6 yards. Wrapped up by Brian Clark. And this is what we were expecting from the Tiger Cat offense at the outset.
Well, now this is the second straight series that the Winnipeg defense has been on its heels a little bit, which is saying something because this is the #1 defense in the league last year with only minimal changes.
Tiger Cats are trailing 21-12. Looking at second down. Here's Davis. He'll get the first down. Nice run of over 5 yards.
Well, it's interesting that Danny McManus starting to put first down after first down together, but he's not doing it by throwing it on every down. He knows with 4 minutes left, or just over 4 minutes, that he's got time to continue to involve Troy Davis and keep that defensive line trying to figure out whether or not you're running or you're passing. Ron Lancaster Jr. and Sr. do not want that front court for Winnipeg to start to tee off and just pass rush every down.
The Ticats are down by 9. They need 2 scores to get even. Andrew Grigg made the catch and falls out of bounds.
Well, this is starting to improve now. You started out, you don't want to do any of that. You cross that right out of there. But now you got a TD and they're in field goal position.
3:49 on the clock unofficially.
You know, and that's one of the great things about Ron Lancaster Jr., and that's that he can find a way to make adjustments as the game goes on. He continues to do that.
Here's Davis outside and coming back in.
This will be a big gamble here if they're short.
Or do you take your 3 now and get the touchdown later?
It depends on how far you are away. If you're inside a yard, I think you go for it. Ron Lancaster has to make that decision. Dave Ritchie has to wait and see which team to send out there. The defense and the big guys, or the field goal return team. And Lancaster's going to get the points while he can. I like the decision. It's a yard. It's almost exactly 1 yard away. You need a field goal and a major anyway.
Field goal and a major will win it, providing the Bombers don't add anything in their next possession. Osbaldiston. He's got that one. So the Tiger Cats creep a little closer. 3-minute warning here at the stadium in Winnipeg. It's been an interesting night. Once more on Wendy's Friday Night Football. All of a sudden, Glenn, it's a 6-point ball game. A touchdown by the Tiger Cats gives them 22. The line score showing Hamilton with 10 points in the 4th quarter.
Well, those 2 block kicks gave the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 10 points in the first half. That's why the Bombers won the first half.
And Westwood 4 for 4 in field goals. So it's in Kahari Jones' hands right now, and actually it's in Charles Roberts' hands as he hands off.
Well, yeah, and it is. It's in the hands of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers now to win or lose this game, because Kahari Jones puts together a drive that results in points here and takes most of the time off the clock, and this one's over. So now the pressure is on the shoulders of the Hamilton Tiger Cats defensively, and this is a worn down, tired defense. It's been on the field probably too long tonight.
Roberts picked up 8. This is 2nd and 2. There was early movement, but no flag, and Roberts will have the first down. Tiger Cats don't take any chances when tackling Roberts, if you notice. I mean, they've got 2 guys on him, and hang on.
Putting together a good night. Rushing 78 yards. He has the touchdown catch.
Over 100 net yards. from scrimmage.
Lots of time left in this game, though. But that's the first down for this drive for Kahari Jones.
2:18 on the clock. Jones has Island Bruce the third, and Bruce broke a tackle.
Well, it's now or never for the Hamilton defense, because here's the situation. One more first down for Kahari Jones, and Troy Westwood is in field goal range.
And we now have a calm in Winnipeg before the storm that's anticipated here tonight. The wind has died down almost completely, so it's not a huge factor out there in that stadium right now.
Well, these are the next 2 downs for the Hamilton defense. If they want to give their team a chance and give McManus the ball one more time, it's got to be now.
88 Jamie Stoddard is the wide receiver to the near side of the field. On first down Winnipeg.
So they got up in the box.
And Roberts is wrapped up.
They figured Winnipeg would run the ball on first down and try and stay conservative. So Don Southern puts all his linebackers up in the box. In other words, puts 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. And the reason he does that is to stop the run. Try and get him in a 2nd and long. See, everybody sneaks up here, and now you got all these guys up in the box. Stop the run on first down, get in 2nd and long, and now the game is on the line on one play.
Actually a loss of 2. So this is 2nd and 12. 1:28 on the clock. Kahari Jones has Charles Roberts, and he'll turn for the first down. A huge first down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, now in field goal range with 1:13 to go.
Such a luxury for Kahari Jones to be able to throw a short little dump pass like this and pick up the first down on 2nd and 12.
See what I saw on the sidelines down there?
A little bit of a smile.
Dave Ritchie with a huge smile.
Well, that's another good day for all the receivers, and Charles Roberts, that 5th catch, probably the biggest of the game.
Look at the distribution to him, and he's used everybody. Just outside the Ticat 30th to 31. It's Roberts on first down. 52 seconds on the clock. You know, Cheatwood wrapped him up there.
A lot of teams can't dump the ball off on a 1-yard dump pass to their running back and expect to pick up 12. You know, when Kahari Jones now has a weapon like Charles Roberts, that's a high percentage throw. Drop it off there, 2nd and 12. Very little chance of an interception.
Valve.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it's a drop ball, you go back and rethink the whole thing.
But that's the design of the play, because they know Charles Roberts can go turn around and pick up 12 yards.
Sellers couldn't find anywhere to run, but
now
just 29 seconds remain, and the field goal team heads out.
Yeah, now, John, the Ticats try and use their 2nd half timeout. So Westwood will have to kick this one.
But if he makes it, it's a 9-point game, and the Ticats need 2 scores.
And that pretty much does it. So for the guy, remember we saw Troy Westwood, who battled through such a tough year last season, was sitting on the bench from the last kick he made to go 4 for 4 and concentrating on this kick, because now this one becomes the biggest one for him. And it's not a chip shot.
This one locks it up. It salts it away.
No, and it's not a chip shot.
Well, the ball currently on the 31, so it'll be 38 yards, somewhere in that range, right?
And now the Ticats, who called the timeout, they can't call another timeout after the Bombers break the huddle to try and ice Troy Westwood. So they have a guy kind of lie down on the turf and just hang out there. I think if we've got a game ball, let's hand it to this guy. Kahari's been handing him the ball tonight. Why don't we hand him one?
Well, it just so happens we do have a game ball.
Okay.
And it's brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sports. Charles Roberts, 114 yards from scrimmage.
Big kick right here.
So Troy Westwood, 29 seconds on the clock. Cameron to hold. It will be spotted at the 38. Westwood for the win. And he's got that one too. A 5 for 5 nights.
Good for him. And this is, you know what, John, this is the start to the year that Troy Westwood really needed. I mean, it is such a mental game for the kickers. The kickers, you know, 99% of it is from the shoulders up. And after going through what he went through last year, remember, he had all offseason to mull over 1 of 4 in the Grey Cup.
And do you think they talked about football in Winnipeg in December?
Oh, yeah.
In January,
and
February.
Who was going to be the next kicker? And Westwood had to read all the articles and listen to all the talk shows. He worked on and came back, and there's, of course, his head coach coming over to be the first guy to congratulate him, because it was his head coach that said, you know what, I got confidence in you. You went and you acted like a pro in the offseason, and he's come out and done it in the first 2 games of the year. Good for him.
Ticats on first down. Mace Freeman was the intended target of Danny McManus, and Hamilton will look at what might have been tonight. All the points they handed away. We'll show you the highlights for certain on the Sports Center with Duthie and Amber right after we're done here.
That's a great point, John, because they handed them 10 points and they've lost by 9.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Funny how that works.
Just 22 seconds on the clock.
Way to go.
McManus under the coverage. And not much running room at all. Well, Lancaster will have cooled down by the time we catch up to him in Hamilton Thursday to get ready for that Friday night game.
I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know if he's cooled down by then, but he will be there, and so will we.
Well, he'll talk football with us at any time. One of the great guys in Canadian football, and this is season number 42 for Lancaster. Won the Grey Cup as an Ottawa Rough Rider in his first year in the CFL, 1960.
Yeah, I think we'll just wrap this one up before the rain really starts coming down, because it just began now. You got 17 seconds.
Timing is everything in television. Pouring out there now. Here's what we've seen so far tonight, the game story.
Well, you know, really offensively, these two teams have sought off. The difference has been special teams for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the turnovers for the Ticats. The Bombers capitalizing on those turnovers with 13 points. Roberts had a good night, but a couple big special teams plays were the difference. You talked about 10 points off special teams plays, on block kicks, and the Bombers win by 9 points.
Well, one more look at the big plays, and they were by the Bombers. The block there by Benefield.
Brad Umoka with another one.
10 points from that.
Back-to-back punts.
And then a fumble here. And that led to more points for the Bombers. And we actually did see a smile on Dave Ritchie's face just a few moments ago. I think he was happy for what's transpired here tonight, but you know, he's a bit of a curmudgeon in some ways. He's not the most cheerful guy that you...
He's a bit of a what?
Well, he gets a little grumpy sometimes. But, you know, he's a real outstanding guy.
Well, he is.
And I think, you know, the little emotion he was showing down there was for Troy Westwood.
Yeah, he was. You're right.
His
absolutely right.
kicker, a little kiss on the helmet for Troy there. And you remember the Eastern Final last year?
Well, they got the Ticats number, don't they?
That's 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Ticats won a game early against Winnipeg last year.
Of course, they're in a different division
This is
now.
5 in a row, yes.
Yeah, they're in a different division this year, but the rivalry continues. And you know, the Bombers came into this season wanting to prove to everybody, including themselves, that last year wasn't a fluke, and so far, they're doing that.
Well, I don't think there's any question. The Bombers are the best team we've seen so far this CFL season, because they have it all.
And Montreal looks good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying that.
Yep. But they do have the talent. They've filled the holes they had to, and Jerron Bolden, they bring in nice defensive back, was the rookie of the year in '98, Mustafa Muhammad, and that fills that hole. They've got a great defense, and it starts there. And they've got 2-0 record after 2 games.
So do the Alouettes. So do the Edmonton Eskimos. But this night belonged to the Blue Bombers, and I think when you look around, It really belonged to this guy, Troy Westwood, 5 field goals tonight. Happy times in Winnipeg. The Bombers unbeaten, heading to week 3. Time now for the TSN Turning Point. Tonight, Glenn Suter couldn't decide.
Well, we put a couple plays in there. The turning point was the special teams game plan. When that came in, it worked well. 2 block kicks.
And then to 10 points.
And then defensively, the Bombers just shut the door on Danny McManus. So we had a few plays for you for the turning point.
Too many turnovers. 13 points the results for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of Canadian coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN.
Thanks, Wellesley. A game that had a little bit of everything. 24-15, Winnipeg wins their 4th straight regular season meeting over the Hamilton Ticats. What you see, Jock?
Well, you know, Glenn Suter at the top of the broadcast talked about the fact that Coach LaPolice likes to keep track of the number of mistakes his team makes, and they want to keep that under 10%. Let's hope the Hamilton Ticats don't keep the same stat, because they had far too many mistakes tonight. It's what cost them the ball game.
Yeah, you can't do that on the road, Jock. What I was pleased to see was Troy Westwood rebound from a long off season and go 5 for 5. I thought he was critical tonight, Chris. Into the wind in those conditions, that's fantastic.
I didn't realize that, Matty. That's a very good point. But what I also liked to see was Kahari Jones got stronger and stronger as the game went on. So important for a quarterback to develop that rhythm and to play his best football in the 4th quarter, David.
There are 3 teams in the CFL now that week 2 is complete that have 2-0, or week 2 is complete that have 2-0 records. Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Montreal. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers win their 2nd straight game at home over the Hamilton Ticats. Back after this.
Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's Classic Double with Cheese is made fresh right when you order it. It's better here. By Molson Canadian. I am Canadian. And by Moore's Clothing for Men. Well made, well priced, well dressed.
There is one other game going on in the CFL tonight at Taylor Field in Regina. The Calgary Stampeders trail the Rough Riders 18-11. The big play for the Riders right now is a 100-yard touchdown play to Derek Armstrong, and the Riders are trying to snap a long losing streak against Calgary. That game in the early in the 3rd quarter. Thanks, guys. The end of week 2. We got 4 games next week, and it all begins Tuesday night with the Toronto Argonauts. They're going to be in BC Place, the stadium at BC Place, taking on Damon Allen and a bunch of wounded Lions. They were beat up in week 1 with a lot of key injuries. We'll see if they're healthy and ready to go next Tuesday night. First of 4 games next week on TSN. Coming up on TSN, the next edition of the TSN Sports Center. James Duthie, David Amber with all the football highlights, baseball, Wimbledon, everything. These boys will have it for you moments from now. The final again from Canadiens Stadium in Winnipeg, 24-15 Bombers. They're 2-0 and looking pretty good on their way to possibly getting back to the Grey Cup. On behalf of Schultze and Matt Dunnigan and Jock Kleiman and our entire CFL crew, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you next week when we come at you on Tuesday. Yeah, give me 5 more. You are watching TSN, Canada's sports leader.